this weekend, we're going to be saying goodbye, or rather, congratulations to one of our players in the top 16. Because one player this weekend is going to be able to qualify for the main event in London.
Yeah, it's always nice to kind of get that first one out of the way, especially, knowing you get to sit back, relax on the couch, watch over the next couple weekends as we will still continue to see the next qualifiers and who is going to have to book their own trip to London as well.
Exactly. And now we're going to be starting off strong right away, as we're going to be watching LucifroN going up against Baltune here on Dry Arabia. Game number 1, Byzantines versus Malians. And Dabson, this is a matchup that I honestly got to say, like, both of these civilizations are incredibly unique in their way of scaling, right? Like, we got, of course, the Malian cow economy. You got the Byzantine mercenary flood, I want to say. Both of these two civilizations absolutely massive on 1TC.
Yeah, they're both those civs that you feel like you can kill a lot of vills and their economy is still better than you somehow. And obviously that's with cisterns, that's with cows. So they kind of both get to play their own game, and we'll see which of those economies actually turns out to be stronger. I wouldn't be too surprised to just see LucifroN, starting with that early cistern kind of boom up.
Yeah, I feel like the Spanish brothers in general were like some of the first ones after the cistern rework to not hesitate with putting 3, sometimes even 4 villagers onto stone relatively early on, just to get that scaling in as soon as possible. And on the other hand side, Malians, recently we've kind of seen a shift from Malians to a more smooth scaling into the cattle economy. They've started embracing the Sofa Archer composition a lot earlier into their typical game plans. Usually, or rather I want to say like a couple months ago, it used to be that Donzo Javelin Thrower was still king. Now, way more often than previously, are we seeing the Donzos, even though the last buff has actually been quite a few months before that as well.
Yeah, so far Archer just feels like it scales a little bit better into Castle Age, but enough of that. We see the timer ticking down, hitting 0. Let's get into our game number 1 of the day here. Oh, just kidding. We'll get in there in just a bit. We're getting things figured out behind the scenes.
Technical difficulties, but that's what our production cow is here for. In the background is going to be figuring that out, so we'll be jumping into game number 1 in just a moment. In the meantime, taking a quick look at the draft here. LucifroN, of course, we know him to be a cavalry-centric player, and makes sense that we see him picking Sengoku, Daimyo, Ayubids, French, and the Rus here. And also Golden Horde, a civilization that I want to say at the high-end level hasn't gotten as much attention as maybe it deserves. It is one of those civs that just have a weird macro-type opening, or rather weird macro scaling. But behind all of that is genuinely a civilization with some really, really impressive economic capabilities.
Yeah, so got a lot of those cavalry civs to suit his playstyle, but also we see Holy Island as one of the maps in the map pool that has been picked, which we know the Spanish brothers to be those dominant water players. So that is one that Baltune is going to have to deal with some struggle there on the water to try to take down LucifroN on one of the favorite maps for him.
Yeah, civilization-wise, I think he's kind of got some good civs forward, like we see Shushi's Legacy as well as China. But enough of that. We'll be talking about that later on, as we're going to be jumping right on into our game number 1. And look at that. Sometimes you got the colors bugging out a little bit too much, but in this case, it works perfectly as Baltune here, our Swedish player, spawning in the color blue-yellow as the Malians, his opponent LucifroN in the color red, playing as the Byzantines. Can we see Baltune's base again? Because if that color shift is still there, oh my god, that's perfect. Like, can you ask for a better color combination as a Swedish player?
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely, it's suiting his country.
Oh, come on.
From.
Why did we fix that? Ooh, no fun allowed.
LucifroN did opt for a few on the stone, not quite as crazy as what we've seen sometimes, just 2 villagers sitting on stone, which will, provide that boost to his economy as he continues to drop those cisterns and expand that water level.
Baltune here with the Malians, he doesn't need to be too afraid of any Dark Age shenanigans or anything like that going on. Likewise, LucifroN, he knows Malians, they're not really a big fan of Dark Age. Both of these two civilizations in the early game, living their best, going for that stone to get those systems, going for that wood to so close to much around the mine, just doing their best in order to set themselves up for a nice scaling game here. And this is very nice coordination here on the scout pathing from both players. They're both just running their individual lanes around each half of the map, and it gives us a little clue at the sheep scouting that they've done here so far. So both players are splitting the map up evenly. So it looks like LucifroN has managed to snack more sheep on his, like, never mind, Baltune just finding 2 sheep there. So both players relatively close. There's just a couple of sheep left on the map. Overall, no biggie. Both players finding a pretty good sheep count there.
Yeah, can't ever complain about that, and wouldn't be too surprised seeing the even split essentially with the way that those patterns both went, just splitting the map directly in half. A few more last sheep to be claimed, but overall very even count. And now Feudal Ages about to be dropped here in the next couple seconds.
Not far here, no big there. Just the expected landmark choices here from both players.
Yep, exactly. A nice back Grand Winery location, so we'll not be complaining about that, although it doesn't expect too much early pressure there from Baltune on the Molly. Checking the trade outposts for some potential mercenary choices, although, would be a little bit of a walking distance to go over there, but we have seen that happen a few times.
System level only at level 2 so far. As you mentioned, only 2 villagers for LucifroN on stone, but will soon be able to go for that level 3 cistern. And once the Grand Winery finishes, that's going to be an additional 32 stone there for LucifroN as well.
Meanwhile, Baltune just doing the typical Molly, going back heavy onto wood here as Feudal Age goes on up. We'll want to, go ahead and get those cattle ranches down. Wants to go ahead and get a production building down, most likely start producing those sofa like we had talked about.
Could also be that he's first going to be going for an additional pit mine. Just thinking, like, in this matchup, typically, there's just not a whole lot of aggression for the first 6 minutes going on. So typically, you definitely do have enough time here as the Malians to go for that second pit mine. And the second pit mine spot here for Baltune is actually going to be very good in the back of his base. So has 1 gold mine forward, 1 gold mine to the back. And having these, like, split up positions just makes it super easy for you to rotate around there, and just means that it's going to be pretty tough for LucifroN to rotate around both of these pit mines at the same time. We do see the first villager moving out to that pit mine. At the same time, Baltune on the stone from LucifroN, just causing a little bit of an annoyance there.
Yeah, I always laugh, our player's going to opt for trying to, throw a little bit of torch damage on the mining camp, can mess up some timings, that force drop-off at times, or, like we see Baltune, sometimes the scout will just, try to do some damage to a villager. Never know when all of a sudden the sofa raid's going to hit one of these lower health villagers rather than the full ones.
Yeah, and here, excellent example of the pathing. Just being a little bit confused with that one scout just sitting there means that a villager is going for a little bit of a loop around that stone outcropping. And eventually, that scout is going to turn into a warrior scout, and suddenly going from, like, 1 damage with every hit up to 7. That's something that you definitely have to anticipate and always have to look for, because as soon as that upgrade comes in, you're going to have to pull that villager off.
Yep. All that wood getting put to good use. That second pit mine is getting houses put around it consistently. LucifroN, though, respecting that scout with a barracks dropped here in the middle of his mining camps.
So barrack is going to be coming in.
It should be dropping that 4th cistern here in not too long, I believe, as well.
The question is always, are you just going to delay the cistern a little bit to get it in a potentially better placement if it's a matter of map control? But in this current situation, LucifroN, he is going to get the barracks up. Maybe he just wants to wait for 1 or 2 Limitani to be able to get that next cistern in safely. Never mind, does drop the next one now over to the back in his base. Isn't going to secure or rather buff up any specific resources, but will eventually get the olive groves around the Grand Winery. So the buff is eventually going to be mattering there.
Yeah, Baltune moving out to the forward deer, also dropping an outpost, gets a nice old vision point in the front side of his base, kind of the 2-for-1 where we'll be able to help protect his pit mine that he dropped at the beginning as well.
Matani have been revealed now by LucifroN. Longbows are in queue. Baltune immediately mixing in his own archers. So we are going to be seeing that Sofa and Archer army composition already the first couple of cattle inside of those enclosures, those cattle ranches. So both players going for that hybrid scaling, hybrid army composition now. Though to be fair, like having 4 cisterns, that's not really hybrid. That's just massive scaling advantage now for LucifroN for the time being.
Yeah, it's one of those that, you know, the nice part is that impacts just about his whole entire economy at this point. Meanwhile, Baltune, the 4 extra cows, it's nice, but it just doesn't feel like it has that same impact. LucifroN, though, is running out of those initial berries and is starting to secure up his next berry patch.
At the same time, I mean, the cattle isn't the only way, of course, that the Malians are scaling their economy, having those 2 pit mines and the Manza quarry at the same time. It's a lot of passive gold income at the moment here for the Malians. Sofa, also with their enhanced mobility, going to be able to kind of dictate the game pacing here, at least in the early game. Baltune, though, is going to have to be very, very careful about not over-committing with these Sofa, as they are still relatively expensive, and you don't want to just lose them for free. He's also just going to need an absolute ton of archers if he wants to take any favorable engagements up against the Limitani, as that shield wall means that they're barely going to be flinching when those archers fire at them.
Yeah, LucifroN doing a great job of just keeping track of his opponent's army for that time being. Scout has just constantly been following those Sofa to scout on around, and now feels like he is in that positioning point to go ahead, start moving out and across the map. Already has 10 longbows due to that Grand Winery start and all that olive oil that came on in, so really feels like he has that military advantage.
Man's on stone here for a little bit. Has enough stone to get the outpost in place, and then needs to go for the fortification now as well. Is going to be getting that in, but it's going to just take a little bit longer for that upgrade to finish up. But with LucifroN going for siege engineering here, it looks like he is actually going to try and go for a push. Could be thinking about torching down villagers jumping inside the outpost. There is no Cura Siphon yet. Fortification's about to be completed. And with that, LucifroN can no longer warrant actually going for the burn here. Looks like he hasn't noticed yet. At the same time, villagers do go down on berries. But LucifroN, he hasn't noticed yet that it's fortified. He's still going for the torching. And he's losing longbows. Now he notices. And has to fall back, but loses at least 1 longbow for it.
Yeah, great stalling out by Baltune. Great job distracting these berries, causing some idle time on the other side, and picked up a few villagers from it as well. Will force more of an investment down from LucifroN, as it does look like he kind of wanted to stall out after this push and go up to castle. Caro Siphon has been finished, so we'll start to put pressure on this outpost here in the center. But has Baltune stalled enough? Will the Sofa be able to wrap back around, get a flank, and have LucifroN's army split for the time being? First couple hits.
Be better now, but yeah, Cura Siphon coming in now. Damage is being done, but the Sofas are shuffling back around.
Baltune rebuilding that tower back to full health. Good job just deterring that push away yet again. But like I said, LucifroN, he's got other ideas. It's this castle age behind a push as well.
And this Baltune is starting to put up more and more of these cattle ranches. So scaling is coming in.
Oh, and he's going to hit the berries again. Saw where LucifroN was vulnerable earlier, but LucifroN has already been the proactive one, moving those Limitanite over to protect his berries. Looks like might have just ran out of sheep as well, but the Golden Horn Tower is on the way now for LucifroN.
Very good Castle Age timing here for LucifroN. Baltune shouldn't be too far away with the amount of cattle that he has, and a lot of cavalry means that LucifroN at the very least isn't going to be able to easily push out of his base with so many Sofa just running around his base there.
Yep, outpost dropped on that gold for LucifroN, trying to just protect up some of those initial resources. And Baltune circling the base, has a feeling, knows what's up, and is saving up for that Castle Age. So like you said, won't be too far behind it himself. This now begs the question, is the 5 cistern economy stronger than that full cattle boom economy with the Grand Fulani?
This Castle Age now finished up. Upgrades are going to be coming in super quickly now for LucifroN with that bonus research speed on those cistern auras. And all the villagers at the moment out there on the berries. The entire military there as well. Veterancy already in on the longbows. That didn't take any time at all. Archers from Baltune probably need to fall back a little bit as well, as he is aging up behind this. And never forget, Malian upgrades come in super quickly. LucifroN already the first couple of cataphracts in queue means that he's going to have some extraordinarily tanky cavalry on the field soon as well.
Yep. It's crazy. Their overall population numbers basically dead even at this point, 75 to 74. So just neck and neck with these two civilizations. Like we had said, both have their own way of economic scaling. Baltune was able to pick up a few villagers, but that's really been the most of it in this game so far.
Some walls coming up behind this as well. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult for LucifroN to go for raids on the flanks. But to be fair, in this matchup, typically there's like one big engagement after the age-ups come in. And those kind of tend to decide the entire game, as we see the longbows starting to creep on 4. Baltune's waiting for a lot of upgrades to come in right now. We do already see imported armor, veterancy on the Sofa, veterancy on the archers coming in here behind this.
Very necessary upgrades to wait for. So key to not take that fight. I've seen it happen so many times where you're like, oh, my upgrade's almost through, and all of a sudden just, 5-10 seconds of not having that upgrade is more than enough to snowball the fight out of control. However, LucifroN, his numbers have climbed. He has those cataphracts too with that strong front line, able to pick a villager on the wood line.
First pit mine has gone down. Cypher now also starting to take down those mud huts, so Baltune at the moment struggling to stay not housed, needs to put up a whole bunch of houses, and now is going for a little bit of a push out of his base, has a lot of archers here. Is this going to be enough though? He needs to focus down those Limitani, else the Sofas are going to get sniped down very quickly. Plus 2 pierce damage just finished up for LucifroN, now he's taking the fight.
It does look like Baltune's numbers are just falling a bit faster with the Limitane, with the good old stronger front line on LucifroN's side. It's hard for Baltune Sofa to get to a point where they can take this fight.
Yeah, and the Sofa just also struggling to take down the cataphracts here. There's also just a whole lot of pathing issues with the production buildings at the front side. Sofas, just 7 in the count, 9 more in queue. Behind this, LucifroN. Yeah, it just hasn't fallen at all.
Yeah, it just constantly stayed on that backside, sniping anything and everything. LucifroN did such a good job with those longbows, focusing out the archers over and over again. It was constantly target firing all of the archers on down, and then the Limitane don't have any sort of answer for them, except for, I guess, TC fire here.
Oh, a little overstay potentially.
Sofa,
reinforcements coming in as well behind this. Baltune, he just needs to push through. He needs to stick onto those longbows. He needs to take them down. Looks like he wants to take down the cataphracts first, though. They just take such a long time to get taken down. He doesn't have +2 pierce armor yet. So longbows are still doing a good amount of damage here to him. We cataphracts getting pulled back as well. He's losing the timing.
Woodline yet again is going to be at risk. Another villager falling. Villagers moving back from the berries as well to garrison inside the TC. It just does not look like Baltune is going to be in this situation for long if more cataphracts come to that front line.
I still have his entire gold operation working in the back there. Every now and then, villagers getting sniped. Granted, villagers not really your main priority as the Malians, but it is a difficult situation for him to be in for sure. Currently, max population of 65, as a lot of his houses have been torched down.
Lucifer
going down behind it.
Just climbing up to 82 population. Baltune is having to go out of to some more vulnerable resources. He's over on just a random wood line on that northern side of the map, trying to be able to not be idled on out. And LucifroN, he's circling. He smells blood in the water.
Behind us, he's also managed to take up almost 3 of the relics. 2 are currently being carried back. Random villager just trying to get a little bit of that gold in. Baltune is doing a great job of just still trying to look for potential value with a couple of sofa and potentially find some villagers there on the berries, as it looks like a couple of units have been clicked over there. Now, the second those sofas get spotted out, LucifroN immediately starts diving deeper into the base from Baltune. Baltune needs to pay attention on multiple fronts at the same time. Unfortunately, does not find the opportunity to get a whole lot of villager kills here, as now his entire cattle economy is going to be at risk.
Yeah, and now more cataphracts are going to be able to defend the base of LucifroN. Meanwhile, Baltune, he does have a ton of Sofa in queue, but will the Sofa be able to match the army that is in LucifroN's base? Even if all 8 of those Sofa pop out, I still feel like this is a fight that he wouldn't be able to take. Trading a little bit of economic damage, but Baltune, he's losing the lifeline of Mali. It's those cows, it's that cattle economy.
Worst case, you can still eat from those cattle after they've been killed. It is a great food source for you, for sure. But as long as you haven't, dealt with this main army there, you're still at risk. Actually, Baltune, though, taking a great fight there up against a couple of the longbows. Just needs to make sure that he doesn't lose his entire army. Cattle's still mostly live. Emergency Wololo comes in inside the base from LucifroN. A lot of villagers have been idled out. LucifroN sees the back gold operation here from Baltune. He did evacuate in time, I want to say, for the most part. A couple of straggler vills getting left behind there.
A huge mass of villagers moving over to that next gold, moving over to the next set of deer behind the walls, and Baltune able to get a solid pickup on the boar as well. So with all of this economic rating, all of this back and forth here, Baltune has been able to kind of equalize the villager number quite a bit, but has bigger problems as he's constantly been losing his base, losing the infrastructure.
We're seeing a couple more stables now coming up alongside this, another pit mine as well, as the housing infrastructure is still just getting non-stop interrupted here by LucifroN. A couple more sofas did go down. Baltune still has a good mass of them up, but at the moment he's also struggling with archer count, as LucifroN is starting to reinvest into the Limitani count now. Sofas are diving deep yet again. Gonna find a good couple of kills here potentially. At the very least, just keep the Limitani mass down for a little bit longer.
No, he does find a good amount of villagers still hanging around, picks up the kill on the monk. Another cataphract gets taken out. Really good job by just causing LucifroN to react in his base and hopefully not find as much damage in the Mali economy.
Yeah, this actually is starting to look better and better here at the moment for Baltune. Currently actually having the villager lead. Now, the cattle economy is still hemorrhaging, pretty down at the moment. But that is something that, in theory, you put like 20, 30 villagers on gold, you get the entire cattle economy back within just a couple of moments if you just put up a couple more mills again. But he still needs to deal with the enemy units inside of his base, and that's the real problem at the moment, as he cannot jumpstart his economy again as long as these units are still there. But there's just so much damage coming in inside of LucifroN's base. This is starting to become tougher and tougher for LucifroN as well. Villagers on the deer are getting found out as well. LucifroN could be getting choked out here now.
This is absolutely wild. Baltune is turning this game completely upside down. Just sofa, sofa, and more sofa. And he's like, I'm fine with this base trade, even though you'd think without any of the cattle that he'd be struggling. But he's been able to move out onto these pocket resources and has not been found out, has not been idled out over there.
Yeah, not idled out at all. There's still just so many sofas and Q26 out on the field. And this game somehow looks like it just shifted completely on its head, as now Tuna is the one that is seemingly in control here. The entire economy from LucifroN is idled out right now. 29 idle villagers, 31 have been killed as well. And he just cannot get him out of his base.
Yeah, and Baltune now is at the point where he has the military lead. He's had the economic lead for a little bit. Some return damage being attempted, but look at the sofa mass that is chasing now. There is no longer this huge army in his base that he has to deal with. He is cleaning this up and has an economic lead.
And now he can finally start eating from the cattle inside of his base, underneath the TC. There's just so much food for days there that Baltune can now gather up from. Truly, right now, his economy is going to be looking a little bit insane, as we can see. Yeah, villagers just being rallied onto those cattle, and he's going to be happy feasting there for quite a while.
Yep, a few more villagers over on the boar are vulnerable. LucifroN, 40 villagers working as hard as they can. Baltune up at 55, and military numbers back to even, although LucifroN's is all infantry, no cavalry at all.
LucifroN is trying his best in order to get the Limitani mass up again, but currently only 11 Limitani to 23 Sofa out on the field. That is not a position that you can really enjoy right now, as he's about to get dove on by the cataphracts and by the Sofas, and losing with Spearmen against Sofas just does not feel go. Emergency Wololo's coming in.
Yep, Baltune having to turn back away. Yeah, ends up a lot of those Sofa were not full health. You can even see them now. So many of those Sofa, 10-20%. Still finding a little economic damage on the backside. More olive groves being dropped for LucifroN. Needs some food, needs to be able to continue to produce. But look at Baltune's food economy, 1.5k per minute.
It's just looking really well right now, but with these choke points and with the Limitani there, Baltune's still gonna struggle, at least for a little bit here when it comes to ending this game outright. Look at this. This is the thing that I talked about. You can easily remass the cattle economy, as Baltune just has 11 cattle back out on the field here, which sure he doesn't have inside the ranches, but they're still going to be providing 20 food per minute here, courtesy of the Grand Fulani Corral.
Yeah. So we'll just need the wood economy to be able to drop cattle ranches, but currently 0 on wood for Baltune. It is just all food, all gold right now. You might be thinking that, honestly, playing a game like this, you just don't even know what type of economic position each other's in, because y'all both taking so much damage. It's just, you know, it's hard to get that full knowledge and realization.
As long as you got your full cattle economy as the Malians, though, you gotta just be anticipating that you're doing something right. And this LucifroN, he got a good amount of olive groves back up and running, and he does have 3 relics inside of the Grand Winery. So the olive oil income is not looking bad at all for LucifroN. So this could still go both ways here, I want to say. This isn't determined now which way this game's going to go, but it's going to be an uphill battle for LucifroN currently.
Sofa just kind of circling, making sure LucifroN isn't able to move out of his base, and with an army that he has very immobile, it's hard for him to be able to do that anyways. Has to respect this massive Sofa army from Baltune. Takes out an outpost, takes down a mill that didn't really have much use, but just continuing to slowly burn some infrastructure, and like I said, just put that chokehold on LucifroN.
He does have a good amount of villagers on wood, could soon be thinking about going back into archers again as well. I think he kind of needs to go up to like that 50-60 archer count if he wants to finally be able to push into the base here from LucifroN. Only Sofa against now this solid mixture of Limitani and Lombos. I don't think that's going to be the game-ending army composition here for Baltune, though he is for sure going to be able to keep LucifroN inside of his base for quite a while. At the same time, Cataphract raid though.
Good return raid. A couple of those boar villagers did get found out. Not sure if the torches will be enough before the Limitanei arrive. Quite close. And ends up just turning. He wants to take the fight.
LucifroN's outside of his choke point position. So this is probably one of the best engagements that Baltune can take here. And look at the mass of Limitanei, just how quickly they're going down at the front side.
Yeah, frontline mass is just absolutely disappearing. Reinforcements, though, arriving. They're not too far away. Villagers are at risk now. Outpost finally fell. Another one getting built on up. But Baltune lost a huge amount of Sofa there. Still hasn't dealt with that cataphract. And numbers are looking scary now for him. Has to deal with yet another army mass that could be moving across the map now.
Yes, currently the game is starting to swing again, as now it's 50 to 20 military on the field. Army value also looking just a little bit better for LucifroN. Baltune is starting to re-add those cattle ranches, so will soon be getting a lot more food income in there as well. And is also starting to add the archers. The issue is just this timing right now. Baltune needs to go back with the Sofa. He needs to find raids. He needs to make sure that LucifroN has to stay inside of his base with the main army, and that is exactly what he's doing right now. Baltune is massing those Sofa up again, is going for the raids, but he's trying to build up the archer count.
Yeah, it needs that archer number to climb, and climb fast indeed. Just lost so much infrastructure early on. That's where a lot of the wood has to go to, you know, rebuilding those cattle ranches. It's just delaying that archer remass that he needs.
LucifroN does spot out all of those cataphracts as they're moving towards his base, so we'll be pulling the army back. Behind the sacred sites are starting to get captured up for LucifroN as well. He's getting that additional bit of gold trickle in. Yeah, really need to be careful here. Cannot take a direct engagement at the moment. 75 military, like, this just all came out of nowhere. It's courtesy of having all of this olive oil income for LucifroN with all of those olive groves around the Grand Winery, the 3 relics inside of it as well. He's at 36 longbows at the moment with 10 more in queue.
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely crazy thinking about the economic position of either side. LucifroN was at like 38 vills, and all of a sudden, you blink and his army count is just through the roof, and just there's no end in sight. It feels like multiple more batches of longbows, batches of land snakes in queue as well, and has that huge Limitanei front line.
Archers now getting revealed for LucifroN, so he will know that Baltune is starting to add those in as well. So far, still being kind of dealt with here at the moment with the Limitanei. The painted shield upgrade for the Byzantines, just such a key upgrade in this matchup now, meaning that those Limitanei move at an insane 1.44 tiles per second. And the villagers in the woodline starting to get exposed. I'm not sure, maybe LucifroN can look over the woodline here. Cannot quite look in. But he must anticipate that this is where Baltune's currently gathering from. Army's getting shown.
Oh,
some villagers
a
actually getting
villager or
sniped.
two does get spotted out. Now Baltune has to shift that wood economy all the way over to the other side. So a little bit more of this idle time where he is needing to continue this production as the army's knocking on the doorstep, blacksmith being burnt. And instead, it's back to the cattle.
Just jumping inside the TC. Cattle, ranches starting to get burnt down yet again. Archers starting to step forward. Baltune's going for the engagement. There's still the potential for choke points here. LucifroN wants to take this fight next to the archer range. Makes it a bit tougher for the Sofas to wrap around. Fight's being taken.
Sofa trying to get that full wrap, but there's just so many
good.
today. They haven't gotten all the way around.
This is good.
Getting closer and closer under the TC fire, though, and Archer's on the backside.
It's a shield wall.
This is a really, really good fight for Baltune to take, actually.
It's that shield wall ability. It massively reduces the attack speed of the Limitanei. So they barely did any damage to the Sofa, and the Sofa just absolutely shredding the entire front line and back line from LucifroN as he loses his entire military in that one fight.
Yeah, Baltune, he lost a few cows again, but I think he is fine with that, seeing the outcome now.
Look out, Frag Raid at the same time. LucifroN just sending one back to the gold vein from Baltune, but he's got a big problem ahead of his base now. The Sofa Archer Mass is running forward.
Another set of Limtane closing the gap, but the archers are there. They're already ready to deal with that here. So Baltune just really, really good positioning point yet again.
Getting taken. Archers doing a good job sniping down the Limitani there. Lombo's trying to go for the archers in the backside. Looking to be maybe enough cataphract here in order to tank up the front line. Yeah, Baltune has to fall back. This is not the fight that you can continue pushing forward into. Needs to regroup with the rest of his army. Food income should explode in the second here for Baltune. He just put so many villagers onto the cattle there.
And this has just been an absolutely crazy back and forth game. Feel like both of these players were in positions to just easily take the game, but neither one able to close it out. Just overstepping a little bit. Great defensive points from both of these players as well. And, you know, who is going to be the one to finally break through, to finally take that necessary engagement?
The amount of food income that Baltune's about to have, he's going to be able to spam Sofas non-stop. But LucifroN now also with a very, very solid amount of food income, just continuously producing those Limitani. Lombo's, of course, just coming in passively. 600 olive oil per minute at the moment for LucifroN. He is definitely going to be able to crank those numbers up again, already back to 20. Baltune, he needs more wood again. He's only got 3 villagers working on wood at the moment, so needs to find some more access to the wood lines.
Ah, there it is. Sent a few more on over. Looks like that's where his TC is queued on up. These Sofa, though, they're running through some vision points, so LucifroN has the knowledge of exactly where this Sofa raid's attempting to come from. And Army able to react and just be there and ready to deter that initial Sofa push. But another set is coming along for the other side, and this is the problem with that more immobile army.
I love how LucifroN just has so many outposts next to those farm villagers as well. So if there's a raid, he can definitely keep all of those villagers relatively safe there in the back of his base as well. Capture of the Sacred Site is getting denied. Baltune hasn't gone for any of his own monks yet, but you can just look at his army now, and actually the army of both of these players just shooting up again in the overall military department that they like out on the field. Back to 75 for LucifroN. White getting taken. Accurate defense getting utilized as well. So far not actually able to kill too many villagers here. I want to say a couple, but at the same time, move on to the gold gets found out.
On the other side, Baltune is just being relentless here with these raids. Does run into a limited name mass. And on the other side, a lot of villagers got low health on both of these raids, but just feel like there wasn't too much damage that LucifroN actually took, although it is not stopping yet.
Manganon placement coming in on a fortified outpost, but the fortified outpost is getting actively hemorrhaged there as well. Villagers now on the farm side do have to quarantine a little bit as the Sofa mass is starting to get a couple of pickups here and there. Villagers on the gold vein once again getting found out. More will go down.
And this is just the problem when you play against Mali and they get to this point where you don't have yourself fully walled in and they're just non-stop and queuing up with the Sofa, and yeah, you have the correct unit to deal with them, but you just can't deal with them fast enough with the mobility that they have as well.
It's just a pure mass. The Sofa's also just slightly faster than the Cataphract, so you always need to be chasing continuously, and eventually the Sofas will still be able to get away from you or maybe snag a couple of additional villager kills. LucifroN is starting to push forward yet again, though, with a couple of military units there as well. Pretty decent army, though, I gotta say. Back up to 33 longbows and 11 Landsknechte, but another great raid from Baltune. Killing so many builds like over and over again.
There at that wood line. That is a hugely successful one. And like we were saying, it didn't feel like the first couple were too successful, and all of a sudden you blink, you look away once, or you try to move forward, and you just overstepped a bit. But Baltune's army, not sure if he wants to take this fight without the rest of his Sofa here. Villagers having to turn around and run, and the Cataphracts just slowly poking away at some of those archers.
Painted shield upgrades just makes them so tanky. They have the same armor as the Sofa, but the longbows have more damage. So in theory, the backline is a little bit strong, but again, the raid again! So many villager kills! But LucifroN's at 100 military. He's inching back into the base from Baltune here. This could genuinely be a position where you might want to go for Springles, though longbows with their additional range, they're actually a very good archer unit to snipe out Springolds. There's
Looks
just so
like
much infantry.
LucifroN dropped a second TC or is building one now.
Definitely
Can't quite
needs it.
push through.
Archers taking the fight at the front line. This feels tough though. The archers need to be so careful. The choke point there on the move back slows him down a good bit. And about to get taken
now
again.
Stepping forward.
Shield wall makes him very slow on the attack again. The choke point. Baltune, it's working again. Or is it? The cataphract reinforcements are coming in.
There's still so
There's a
many
lot of
Sofa.
them.
The front line for LucifroN, it doesn't feel like it's here. This seems like another good fight, a good defense yet again for Baltune.
It's coming in though.
Even if more and
There's
more
still so
archers
many
coming
Lumbos.
in, he needs more Sofa. There's so many in queue right now for Baltune, and compared to LucifroN's queue, he just needs to hold this, just needs to stall enough.
There's just so many units. There's still almost 40 Lombos against 30 archers. More coming in queue. TC also fully garrisoned. Sofa at the front line now is going to be able to tank up a couple of shots, but actually active micro from LucifroN onto the archers at the same time. Still raids going on inside of LucifroN's base, and he's getting pushed back. The archers with just that little bit more movement speed, then the Longbow is going to be able to catch up as well.
Yeah, and the reinforcing Sofa just tanky enough. A few more cataphracts here arriving, though.
It's the last bunch of them that he has. Poison arrows, they do take a while to chip away at the cataphracts with their insanely high health pool.
But I mean,
Food income on
Baltune, he
both
gave himself
sides.
time.
He gave himself time, but like, this is the crazy part, right? Sure, the wood income for LucifroN is non-existent, but he doesn't need wood in order to make the Lombos. He just needs food for the Limitane. It barely costs any wood. He can now start rallying villagers over to wood again. The army count is still in favor for LucifroN. The army value still in favor for LucifroN. This is still such a tough position for Baltune at the moment, even with the entire Malian cattle economy, while 30 villagers ahead, while having 20,000 more resource collect. This is crazy to say, but LucifroN's still in it.
Yeah, I feel like Baltune just needs a couple more minutes to be able to hold, to be able to actually mass up and use that eco difference that he has, but he might not have a few more minutes. LucifroN wanting to go ahead and close out this game yet again, knocking on that doorstep. Baltune stepping up with those poison archers. Cataphracts trying to make sure that LucifroN's longbows do not get touched, but here we go. Engagement is going.
Great kiting there from Baltune. Makes sure he gets a lot of these volleys out while the Lombos are a little bit too slow to connect to the front line. Cataphracts are getting sniped out. We're getting close to that 60 archer count, so the Cataphracts actually struggling to stay alive here. Now with the poison arrows as well. Look at that, just 2 of the Cataphracts dying to the poison damage there. Without the Cataphracts, these fights are tremendously better for Baltune, as long as those are not part of the big picture. These are fights that he can potentially take. Tani once again taking the
closer
fight.
and closer to even yet again. Baltune's queue is just so much healthier. 12, 13 archers in queue. He just is massing up so quickly. Sofa have gotten to the backside. They're on top of some of the longbows, and LucifroN's front line is just slowly getting diminished here as his reinforcements are
stepping up.
further away.
The Lombo's still so slow. Baltune actively stepping up behind this, utilizing every single attack from LucifroN to get closer and closer to the Longbow mass as the archers now actively sniping out the Longbos here. Still a lot of military from him out on the field. Baltune starting to slowly but surely creep ahead. Sure, the Byzantines mass an insane amount of units, but Baltune not giving up yet. He's pushing in. And now, with superior military count, could this be the moment where he's actually starting to like really push LucifroN back into space? There's still a lot of outposts on the way though.
I mean, as look at the military numbers, it finally is at the point where Baltune is going sky high. He has 60 archers out on the field. So yes, while the longbows are great, while they have that range, you've talked about the movement speed for Baltune's archers should be able to slowly close the gap.
The issue is the Mangonel emplacements. Absent Baltune, he's mostly just stuck with the archers at the moment. A little unfortunate wood line there, but yeah, it's just mainly archers currently from Baltune. That's not a unit that can really take on Mangonel and Placement Outpost. LucifroN, with that second TC, is starting to catch up a little bit in the villager department as well. Villagers on the pit mine have been found out.
Pulling the shivs out for that one Limited, and this is now at the point, though, that Baltune is knocking on the doorstep of LucifroN's base. Is he going to actually have enough here? Cataphract numbers starting to look healthier again.
Still a lot of them alive. 19 villagers in gold. LucifroN at over 1,000 gold per minute. Does have enough in order to properly mass them up. The issue is the longbows. They do a lot of damage, or a decent amount of damage to the sofa. But the archers have to really rely on the bleed damage that's ticking against the cataphract, and that takes a while to mass up.
A couple of those cataphracts are falling. Fight being taken in front of that sacred site. LucifroN has had triple sacred site now for a minute or so, so does have a win condition ticking, and more importantly, extra income that he needs.
That additional gold trickle, since most of the relics he does have inside the Grand Winery, that can still be very helpful for him. Baltune did just make a monk as well, or an imam. We'll be able to start contesting those sacred sites and possibly get them for himself as well. Cataphract's going for the charge through into the army from Baltune. Baltune continues kiting back. Great kiting here from him. Able to take down the cataphracts, but LucifroN just being so relentless. There's still so many cataphracts coming in time after time after time. And the longbow mass just doesn't really seem to be shrinking.
Yeah, it feels like the longbow mass has stayed at that 37-ish number for quite a while, back up to 40 again. And Baltune, he has a nice healthy queue. It's just not here. It's just not all ready up front and forward here. Trying to take that bottom sacred site now himself.
It's also just so risky. You can't really warrant to go for an Imperial Age play here, as both players just continuously massing up those units. Maybe at some point Siege could be a little tool here that could flip the script a little bit, since LucifroN at least has been utilizing the Mangonel placement, but now keep coming in. Baltune sees it, but not in time. Might be able to take down like 2-3 villagers, but the keep is certainly going to be going up. Cataphract's also coming in to support.
Yeah, a few more Sofa arrive, but like you said, the keep will definitely go up. Not too big of a deal. And LucifroN even micros back the villagers. I think he only ends up losing one here and secures himself an 8k. So this kind of puts pressure on Baltune to secure that other 8k on the northern side of the map.
LucifroN really needed that gold vein here. He's down now to 200 and something gold per minute, mostly just from the sacred side. So making cataphracts at this point a little bit rougher for him, not as easy to do, but he still has very great numbers from the cataphracts out on the field, 13 to 20 so far. Still a position to definitely take fights if he needs to.
Cistern being burnt on down. Baltune trying to make that water level lower just a little bit, which is one of the things that gold over there that LucifroN just grabbed will not be under that influence of cisterns.
Army economy from LucifroN just still being so great behind this. Army from the cataphracts and the longbows stepping up yet again for LucifroN. Baltune now up to 80 archers, and he's starting to stockpile resources, Dapson. He might want to go for that age up sooner rather than later after all. He'll definitely be able to get some great upgrades from it. LucifroN, I'm not sure. I don't think he's too far away from his own age up after this. Like, as soon as Baltune ages up, I think LucifroN can follow relatively quickly now that he's got control over the 8k.
Yeah, LucifroN's only problem is that gold, like you just mentioned. He does have that 8k, needs a ton of villagers over there, but the problem is if he starts going for imp, that means the cataphract number cannot be as healthy, and Fort of the Huntress is on the way. It is securing that 8k on the other side, like we mentioned.
Typically, you want to have the Fort of the Huntress somewhere in the middle of the map, just to be able to utilize that vision, or rather the stealth mechanic on your infantry. But being able to secure an 8k with it, definitely still a nice trade out. Oh, archers though! Archers! The charge! The charge!
He's not reacting!
Oh my god, that is just tremendous damage being done there. In an instant, 30 archers lose their life. Baltune needs to run. Just needs to straight up run. Imperial Age upgrades coming in now, elite upgrades on their way, but he needs time. These do not come in as quickly as the veterancy upgrades for the Malians. They are not as cheap as the veterancy upgrade for the Malians. There's no discount on them. Villagers need to rethink their pathing. They need to rethink their choices in life as they gotta run from the cataphracts. Upgrades are still on their way. Baltune, he cannot take a fight right now. He needs to wait. He needs to bide his time. And LucifroN, getting close to his own age up, needs less than half a minute now to have the resources.
That timing for Baltune, just to look away from those archers, was so unfortunate. The cataphracts from LucifroN just absolutely ran through that archer mass.
Oh yeah, they did, and now we're up to 70 longbows against 60 archers. Upgrades about to be coming in though, at least for the sofas. We're also getting the bonus damage on the archers, where they will finally be able to start doing some damage up against the cataphracts. Definitely something that they've been looking forward to. Now for an engineering company, 18 villagers working on that. Baltune, he doesn't have a lot of time here to go for a meaningful fight with an upgrade advantage.
Half the archers attacking that outpost. So frustrating to deal with that A move at times. Still, archers attacking the outpost still and not getting that full damage. Sofa just got deleted on the front side. And the archers, yeah, they're there. Yeah, they got some damage, but they don't have a front line to help anymore.
Able to at least do some good damage to some cataphracts there, but did lose a lot of the Sofa. Now he needs to start looking for raids again with the Sofas. Just gotta go for mass Sofas and look around for these raids. At the moment, it's only palisade walls, no stone walls. Does, of course, still have the superior mobility. There's also the upgrade for the Sofa that speeds up the archers as well. So Baltune, in theory, could utilize that to still continue and look for some eco damage. It's insane how LucifroN has been able to keep up with the economy now and catch back up. Oh, there's gonna be another charge coming in, and there it is!
Oh!
It's on top of all the archers.
They're basically gone now. If he turns and kites, the longbows get enough time to continue to kite as well. But Sofa reinforcements deterring them for enough.
Oh, elite upgrades on the cataphracts, elite upgrades on the longbows, all coming in at the same time. The longbows already have the ability to utilize the volley ability to massively increase their attack speed for a while. Baltune needs to fall back again. Cataphracts now elited up. Upgrade still taking a little bit.
Oh, a keep drop to stop the gold gathering, or at least make it to where those villagers have to be very delicate where they're gathering that gold from.
And this, LucifroN still having those 3 sacred sites. There is a monk out on the field from Baltune. Could be looking to decamp one of those sacred sites. Maybe just keep an archer on one of them. So Mass starting to climb again. Also seeing a trebuchet come in. LucifroN wants to start traveling down the keep that's annoying him on the gold vein. Baltune doing a good job with that. Just being able to snipe down a couple of villagers. An outpost coming in as well to try and further take down some of the villagers there, but the trebuchet is definitely going to be able to stop that.
Trebuchet pops out, should be able to, just like you said, take down that outpost pretty quick.
In construction, just one shot gonna be enough. Right in the middle.
Another engagement happening.
Sofas just aren't strong enough. They can't stand a fight against the cataphract. Charge coming in again. Timely move back though with the archers. A lot of the cataphracts really low health. And actually, this could be a good timing now. Some Sofa on the back line. Lombo's distracted.
Yeah, the poison damage is slowly ticking away at some of those cataphracts' health. Sofa have been able to close the gap, getting closer and closer to that longbow mass that is just so desperately needed to be thinned out if you're Baltune. Cataphracts do trample on through, try to get to that backside, but they're all so low, they're basically dead at this point. Sofa still continuing to move on forward. Poison Archers still continuing to step forward, and Baltune now equalizing these military numbers yet again.
No incendiaries yet for LucifroN. He's spending all of his gold on the cataphract, so he just cannot afford that. Without that upgrade, the Lombos, they aren't at their full potential yet. No Silk type bowstrings as well, so no additional range at the moment for them either. Baltune now is starting to get in a bit of a better position. still able to pump out those Sofa non-stop. I think he also sent in some Sofa to snipe out the Trebuchet, or at least do some... Yeah, he's sniping out the Trebuchets right now.
And probably
So
just,
he's
yeah, I
gonna
was going to
stay
say,
alive.
move on to the gold villagers, deny gold at least for a little bit of time. LucifroN, 86 gold in the bank. Yeah, he has some gold income, but that is being denied right now other than the sacred site income.
Now the bonus movement speed on the archers in as well. They're going to be able to move a lot quicker. And you can tell the Lombos, they're kind of struggling to keep up with the army formation now. As the archers just so quickly move to the backside there from Baltune.
Move to the backside, snipe out those forward cataphracts, and those cataphracts, they're the gold unit. They're that high-cost unit that is harder and harder to continually make reinforcements from. The olive oil hadn't been a problem. There's been plenty of that income at this point with the Olive Grove expansion in the backside, but gold is the struggle here for LucifroN.
Yeah, LucifroN, he's got all the armor upgrades in, or most of them actually. He doesn't have the +2 Pierce armor upgrade. And a nice little wall there from Baltune, actually completely demoralizing, I want to say, LucifroN's villagers. They want to build a mining camp there, and they see the wall, and they're like, now I don't want it anymore. And they just stop. They just stand still. That goes to the wood line.
Go to the wood line instead. Yeah, they were totally demoralized, like you said. And Baltune still pushing forward on this front side, still continually trying to get LucifroN out on that back foot. Wants to get some eco damage on in, and gold is where he is doing it.
And just continuously massing up those Sofa, just non-stop throughout this entirety of the game, ever since Feudal Age, non-stop Sofa production. And starting to wear on LucifroN. You cannot keep up with the cataphract production behind this. Mind you, it's also a little bit deceptive. The Malians, they don't get incendiary arrows. They get a normal upgrade on the archers that does +2 damage for them. So you don't really see when that upgrade comes in. You just gotta click on them, and then you can tell, okay, these guys actually do as much damage as archers with incendiary arrows. That's the reason why the cataphracts just
now you
fall
can see
incredibly quickly.
LucifroN struggling to reinforce now. Only one cataphract in queue, only 2 out on the field, and those are about to be gone at this point. Baltune is taking over this game. Is this finally the push that he needs to end it? Still denying gold, still forcing LucifroN back.
LucifroN selling 100 wood for just 10 gold at the moment. The prices, there's a market crash, and he's not getting his value's worth of gold from the wood that he's getting rid of.
Outpost on the sacred site finally denied, and this will allow Baltune's army to group all together here.
And there
it is. Game number 1. That is right. Game number 1 gets taken by Baltune in 53 minutes.
1 hour in. This first game today turned out to be a little bit of a longer one. What a slugfest, back and forth. We've been calling it time and time again in this one that, oh, now LucifroN's in the lead, now Baltune's in the lead. This is looking good for LucifroN again. Oh, Baltune's got a chance. And in the end, the Malian economy looks to be good enough, though it was an incredibly close one. Looking at the total resources gathered, this is just insane how close this was towards the end.
Yeah, that close, even considering 116 eco kills from Baltune over on the side of Byzantines, but LucifroN just able to take some really good fights at times. It felt like there was a 10-minute point where they were just trading economies, both diving each other's TCs, and we were like, who's going to come out ahead?
Oh, yeah, this was an interesting one. Definitely an interesting one here at the end of the day. The Malians, man, like Sofas, it was very interesting because all of these, all the units that they've been making nonstop, they were all pretty much unique units. You got like the Malian archers, the longbows, cataphracts, and Sofas. So having these variants of these units fighting off against each other, it is so difficult sometimes to just judge the value of your trades that you are taking. So it makes it very difficult. Definitely feel the level that these players are operating at. Now next up, it's going to be a map that is also known for some longer games here, as we're going to be moving over to Hillendale. We're going to be watching the Ayubids up against the House of Lancaster.
Yeah, Hill and Dale, a classic map that's been around for a while. It's there was a time where I felt like it was dropped out of the map pool and dropped out of the tournament scene for quite a bit, but it is back in action, and like you said, does have the potential for some longer games.
Definitely does. At the same time, it's also one of those maps where there's a lot more potential to choke out an opponent of resources, as on the main hill that you're on Hill and Dale, you only have a single gold vein. After that, you've got to move out, and if you're able to take map control, if you're able to deny that move out, your opponent's going to be stuck on units that don't cost gold.
And now we're seeing some of this trading back and forth from the game prior. That was quite the wild one for the first game to start the day, just showing you what this tournament will live up to. You know, all of these players, they all want to be going to London here. They all want to be qualifying for this Red Bull event, but there's a long path ahead.
Yeah, and there's a pretty steep waiting list if you want to like make it to the main event. Players, they really have to bring their A game here if they want to get that spot in order to qualify for the main event. It's definitely a highly contested spot here because remember, we got 16 players this weekend and only one of them is gonna make it to the main event. And it's a fairly interesting, I want to say, like system that we've got here because, of course, if a player makes it to the main event, they don't really they don't need to qualify anymore. So if a player makes it to the main event, there is another spot opening up for another player that was almost qualified for the Road to Wololo. So they're going to step up behind that. And then we're going to still have 16 players, but like potential for another player that didn't even qualify initially to still have a chance to make it to the Red Bull Londinium.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of big excitement, a lot of pressure on the line here, and that's where game number one, I don't think many people many of these Twitch viewers would have expected it, but Baltune is the one leading 1-0.
Yeah, Baltune looking good here after that initial game number one. The team gamer showing up with his skills in the 1v1 bracket now. Next up, Ayubits versus House of Lancaster. That timer is ticking 0, and we're gonna be jumping on into our game number 2 any second now. And here we go. Game number 2. We're moving over to Hill and Dale as we're watching LucifroN in the color red playing as the Ayubits facing off against Baltune in the color blue, playing as the House of Lancaster. House of Wisdom coming up for LucifroN, and we'll be sure to see, most likely I want to say logistics, but on a map like this, there's opportunity to also go for an economic win growth, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, logistics has, I felt like, been like the wing in favor here for quite some time, especially if you're playing against a Civ that might have a little bit of early aggression to you. It just feels like it gives you that breathing room to be able to get up to castle without taking too much damage. But this map, sometimes you could just drop some walls and that will give you your time to get up to castle at a nice point. Like you had said earlier, though, you don't want to choke yourself out of all the resources on the map, though.
Yeah, something to keep in mind as well is that House of Lancaster, this is a very unique and niche thing, I want to say. If they don't have access to gold, they can't make horsemen. Their horsemen cost gold. It's so weird. It is so weird. Like, you're lacking one of your pillars, I want to say, in a goldless army with horsemen, spearmen, and archers. And if you don't have gold, you can only make spearmen and archers.
Yeah, definitely a huge feels bad. Isn't something that other civs are used to having to deal with there, but House of Lancaster's a little bit different. We're seeing Abbey of the Kings on the way, though.
Abbey of Kings, so those feared Lords of Lancaster are going to be hitting the field relatively soon, and just one of those units, right, where the unit itself isn't too threatening, right? Like 2 armor, relatively high base damage, but low attack speed. The main thing that makes them so threatening is their high health pool and the fact that they have got an aura which also increases the health pool of other units nearby by 5%, stacking up to 20% with 4 of the Lords. So getting 20% more health on your units, on your entire army, dramatically increases the time to kill for every single one of your units. So House of Lancaster are like the best civilization when it comes to spamming a ton of units and just overrunning your opponent.
Yeah, and it gets so hard in fights too, where it's like, do I focus down that tanky lord like you said, or do I just try to kill some of the units that I'm supposed to be attacking? It's, you want to get those lords dead to deter that 5% health bonus that they each provide, but sometimes it's much easier said than done there.
And it is indeed going to be that logistics wing coming in for LucifroN. So of course you got to respect that healing is king at the moment in Feudal Age, in the Age of Empires 4 meta. Just having access to healing means that you do potentially have that infinite army value if you're able to keep your units alive. And who best to keep their units alive than a micro beast like LucifroN?
Yeah, you know, in lower elos, the healing doesn't prove to be too crazy. In higher elos, it sometimes can just feel unstoppable. These players so good at pulling back units. They get to 10% health. You blink, they're back up to 100 and back in the action. But ages up now, or first age up finishing now for Baltune. LucifroN a few seconds behind. And the first manor already being dropped next to that deer and on the wood line.
Yeah, very good positioning. Gets the wood, gets the sheep, gets the deer in as well. That's going to be a ton of income here for Baltune. He doesn't have to add in another manor for quite a while. Stable now also coming in for LucifroN, so we'll be able to put in some Desert Raiders as well. Desert Raiders work quite well with the healing up against the Lords of Lancaster. 5 melee armor.
Yeah, those Desert Raiders are just so annoying and frustrating to deal with. Just their mobility, just having multiple different ways to attack and run on around. But now we're seeing those Cambulances go ahead and move out on the map, going ahead and trying to act like a pseudo scout over here.
There's the first Lord of Lancaster. Just, you know, he's got 2 legs. Camel's got 4 legs. Theoretically, should they be moving at twice the speed? Gotta buff Ferocious, man.
You don't give the devs too many ideas over here. Second Lord out and on its way. Scouts behind this from LucifroN. He sees the second Lord now. Cambulances say, all right, we can run on away. We can heal ourselves on our way back home.
Now, Baltune, he also has the ability to heal up his units, though it is only outside of combat. Desert Raider now just, you know, being annoying. Baltune knows, okay, I can't really fight this right now. I need to run. If I fight, he's just gonna run and heal up again. But he is messing up the Hobbler, so he's kind of like baiting LucifroN over. He's like, come on, you wanna dive further into my base, surely, right? And then the second he dives into deep, the Hobblers are getting revealed. And now, with the bonus damage that the Hobblers have up against the Desert Raider, that's something that LucifroN cannot fight.
Yep, few Hobblars do their job at deterring that initial Desert Raider away, and it was just one single Desert Raider made from LucifroN proved to cause enough of a reaction from Baltune, enough of a delay, and LucifroN about to be able to click up here after the next drop off of villagers from gold.
Yeah, the early income that you get from those berries, and without the need to invest into a manor or anything like that, means that it's going to be an incredibly quick follow-up now to the age up, as Industry Wing is getting clicked 6 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. This age up timing, kind of similar to something that an Order of the Dragon or an HRE would be going for. Nice body block. Villager almost potentially going down, meeting its maker there, but does manage to finally squeeze past that scout. Makes it out alive. Still gonna be 1.5 minutes left though until that Industry Wing does finalize.
And villagers on the front side, berries about to need to be pulled back and get under that TC to start gathering some sheep potentially. No gold being gathered from LucifroN. Wondering if he plans to just drop a market and sell off some of that stone once the Industry Wing does finish.
Typically one of the main reactions that we do see, but against this many Hobblers, like Baltune, he's waiting for his +1 Pierce Armor to finish up as well. Not sure if he yeah, he did definitely see the age up. Definitely saw that LucifroN is going for the age up behind us. He had a scout over there a while ago. Now he's just waiting for the +1 armor to finish, and there it is. +1 armor finishes now. Hobble's now with 4 armor, just gonna be diving in.
One villager gets taken out. Woodline villagers now going to be the next focus. Not enough room in that TC. The Lords just providing that health bonus, being tanky, swinging at some of those villagers on the woodline. How much damage is LucifroN going to end up taking from this? Villagers pull out their shivs on the woodline, might do a little bit of jump in and out to allow some of the lower health villagers to get inside, and that's exactly what he does. But Baltune, he is being relentless. He wants to do as much damage as possible with this all-in timing.
4 ranged armor is just so much to have here in the feud. Later units just not really falling at all. There's just so many Hobblers now chasing after the Desert Raider as well. They're going to be able to catch up to that one and take him down. Age-up is now in for LucifroN, but what can he make? He has no gold. He has no food. He's making a feudal age horseman, and that has to be the fastest game that we're going to see today as GG comes in 8.5 minutes in. LucifroN getting caught completely off guard by the House of Lancaster from Baltune.
Absolutely perfect timing from Baltune. He didn't overstep. He was patient. He saw the age up coming in, and sometimes, you know, you feel like you need to all in then, but instead he waited for the ranged armor and then knew, okay, now is the time. Fully idled out all of LucifroN's economy. What a great timing there from Baltune.
There was just no real way to defend up against that, right? Like, having that 4 ranged armor, having the additional 10% bonus health. I also like that Baltune didn't overinvest into a Lord of Lancaster. He understood that the main bread and butter there is going to be the Hobblers. 2 Lords of Lancaster, he felt like was enough in order to just keep them alive, or tanky enough here. Did reproduce another one here at the end of it, but to be fair, like, it was just the 2. The main bread and butter was just this pure Hobbler mass with the 4 ranged armor.
Yeah, I mean, LucifroN at this point, too, so greedy, only has 1 single production building, doesn't have a market to try to trade off any resources, and then, you know, couldn't drop anything else because there's so much military in his base during this timing that is so crucial for him. And, I mean, just what a solid game plan by Baltune in this game number 2.
House of Lancaster does what House of Lancaster does do best, and next up we're going to be moving over to Front Range, where we'll be witnessing 2 of the new civilizations that have come in the latest DLC. We'll be seeing the Golden Horde as well as the Macedonian Dynasty battling it out on Front Range.
Yeah, Sengoku sniped yet again, but in the meantime we're gonna give you some updates on the bracket, and the big update we see is how quick Vortex's first series was as he 3-0s Mayomeka and is waiting for Anatan versus Valdemar.
Yeah, that said, at the moment I do believe Anatan is currently leading 2-0 up against Valdemar, so at the moment Anatan leading in that set. Still, of course, end up anniversary, potentially all of these options are still on the table. Marine vs. Gully Tackle, we don't have a lot of updates on the other sets yet, but it does kind of give us a glimpse as what is to come. I do believe that we're holding back Demu vs. Kiljardi, as that is going to be the next set that we'll be casting after this one.
Yeah, Puppy versus Scatterbrained, I hear, is tied 1-1 after the first couple games over there, so might be shocking some people over there.
Are you noticing something that I'm seeing as well? Just taking a look at Corvinus, Whams, and Voldemar's headshots, mugshots there. They all look kind of familiar.
There might be more than one Marine Lord, all right?
We've got so many twins in Age of Empires 4. It's crazy. It's not just the Canadians.
Yeah. Oh, well, the top side of the bracket is waiting to start after the bottom first matches finish as well. But that is one where, you know, we're seeing some exciting updates, not just those quick 3-0s, although there was that one from Vortex who is, you know, known as that very, very much of a timing all-in player. So not too surprised to see his series be done the first one.
All right, Macedonians up against the Golden Horde on Front Range. Front Range is an interesting map, I gotta say. Like, it's very dynamic of a map because You start with relatively little gold inside of your base. There are no additional... I think there's like 3 additional sheep per player on the map, so you're not gonna be standing or like sitting inside of your base forever. You gotta move out at some point. And both of these two civilizations have some interesting legs to stand on when it comes to securing resources out on the map. The Macedonians, for example, of course, do have that special golden horn tower. Compared to the normal Byzantines, it's not just producing units, it's producing units and it's a mini red palace. It shoots 32 damage projectiles. It's, yeah, pretty good, pretty good. And it produces, you know, units for free every now and then. You know, House of Lancaster, they called and they said, man, look at our white tower. Why can't we have a golden horn tower like that? Making units and doing like red palace level damage, that's pretty insane. Golden Horde on the other hand side, they get the fortified outpost, which also is pretty strong in its own right, I want to say, at least when it comes to protecting multiple pocket economies.
Yeah, I mean, this is one where I feel like there's so many different unique upgrades too that we might be able to see this game. There's, you know, some of these different game plans here as well. My question is I've seen it happen on this map a few times with the boars being all central. Do you think there's going to be any early boar shenanigans and some of the crazy hecticness that we've seen on this map here before?
I think so. I think the boar play just makes absolute sense. The boar's been buffed a couple patches ago, 2,400 food rather than 2,200, which previously used to be just 2,000 food in it. They touch the board time and time again to make sure that it's going to be a point on the map that is worth contesting. And especially on a map with relatively few food resources, you just gotta go for it. It's so worthwhile. So that's probably something that we might even see in the early game. Granted, Golden Horde doesn't have that many villagers to send out immediately. We'll find out exactly what the game plan here is from these players as we're just about to jump into our game number 3. Potential match point now for Baltune. And here we go. Game number 3. We got LucifroN in the color red, playing as the Golden Horde, his opponent, none other than Baltune, playing as the Macedonian dynasty in the color yellow. Only one villager inside of a space. That tells us just one thing. The villagers, they gotta be going somewhere else, and that they are. There's a lot of villagers moving out in order to take that boar off the map.
Yep, so we were wondering if there was going to be any early boar play, and sure enough, there is one here coming from Baltune. LucifroN, though, he's got 5 villagers on food still. He has not made that move out of his base yet at all.
It's just going to be going for that early golden 10, the House of Wisdom, so to say, of the Golden Horde, their age-up building. Does mean that he's going to be also be able to produce the Baltune from it eventually. I like what he's doing here with the initial Gur. He's sending a sheep out next to it as well. That way, even if he finishes up with the gold gathering a little bit too early without having the food to age up immediately, he can just send the villagers over to the sheep and doesn't need to send them all the way back to the TC to switch over to food.
Yeah, it's just all these little things you can do all add up so much over the course of a game and can really just give yourself a leg up over your opponent. But Baltune, he has that nice food income from the boar coming in now that he has finished it on up, killed it, and starting to drop off. So we're about to see that food income for Baltune start to skyrocket a bit.
There it is, first drop-off coming in hot behind this. Baltune also now with 4 villagers on gold. You gotta put a couple of extra villagers on gold when you go for that survival techniques upgrade. That's just so worthwhile to have. And Macedonian dynasty, they're kind of incentivized to gather up a lot of gold anyways, as that is their major way of turning gold into silver, which they will need for their blacksmith upgrades.
Yeah, and fortunately enough, we do have that silver ticker over on the overlay. So, you know, big shout out there as things have come a long way as far as these overlays go, especially with the unique civilizations.
There it is, age-ups coming in from both players. So Khan and Togut upgrade coming in for LucifroN and the Imperial Hippodrome now for Baltune. It'll take a while for the Golden Horde to age up, but overall, age up time-wise, this is pretty good from LucifroN now. Pretty good timing there.
Yeah, not too far behind the Macedonian of Baltune. Although, you know, we have seen Golden Horde quite sometimes with their delayed age up timing be, you know, much further behind than this. So solid from LucifroN here. Big question is, you know, what is going to be those first big production buildings drop from either player?
From just such a good landmark at the moment to have. I kind of feel like we're barely seeing the other landmark, like the Grand Winery from Macedonian Dynasty. 60% was no 30% additional food gather speed around it is pretty nice. But it's only like in a very small radius, and especially on a map like this, even on normal maps, it just runs out so quickly, and then it takes a while for it to pay off again. Meanwhile, those free units that you get from the Imperial Hippodrome just have so much strength attached to it that it just feels wrong in many situations to go for the Grand Winery.
Yep. And look at LucifroN with his scouts. Slowly, you know, deer pushing a little bit harder, but still a thing that you can do. So slowly trying to get those deer pushed into that gur next to the gold.
One by one. Ooh. Getting the Varangian stronghold.
Yeah, and a forward barracks from LucifroN too as well. So both of these players ready to just jump right into action here once Feudal Age is finished now.
Yeah. Immediately upon age up, we're getting a mixture of horsemen and the spearmen in from the Macedonians. LucifroN just with the spearmen, of course, is going to batch produce. With the batch production, you get them out. I mean, as pairs of two, of course, you also pay double the price. Means you're a little bit less flexible when it comes to going for mixed army composition, at least early on.
Yeah, it's just like you said, costs a little bit more, so you're putting more of this investment into each one. Harder to split units and constant produce out of multiple buildings, but Baltune is doing exactly that. Outpost dropped on the board as well, so really focusing on reinforcing this food location. Knows how important it is for himself right now.
Yeah. Sean, paying Bolton Space a visit, just checking out what's going on there. Didn't find any villagers on gold yet, though. Where's Baltune? He's not really actively gathering gold at all at the moment, which is fairly interesting. Means that he's also, you know, not going to be getting that much silver at the moment. He just gathered up enough in order to be able to upgrade the Varangian stronghold with the arrow slits emplacement. But for that, he also needs 100 gold, so he's going to have to go for that. Or is getting aggroed and pulled away. Looks like LucifroN wants to get that boar in as well, as he's just put up the fortified outpost there. Theory Baltune could just kill the boar in the stealth forest if he tanks up with the Hippodrome Scout.
That's what I was thinking as well. Just be able to fully deny this boar, but instead he's just saying, hey, delay is good enough for himself now. Doesn't want to take too much damage. And yet
Boar's
again,
getting dragged back. Yeah, LucifroN is going to be able to secure the boar now next to his outpost. Outpost not placed too well, though. In theory, this is something that Tuna could counter outpost drop. This initial fight is going pretty well here for LucifroN, able to take down one of the horsemen. Baltune just going for the mass Edgar Mother at the moment. He didn't even have them hardened up yet. That upgrade is only just now coming in.
Yeah, so definitely a fight he couldn't take.
Oh, he's switching up. I think Baltune wants to long-term go for the Varangians now.
Yeah, he is making... Oh! Yep, making the Varangian swap. Villagers on gold need to be pulled back.
That's at least
one
one
will
down.
end up falling here.
Maybe two.
Second one potentially as well. Attempted body block from Baltune, but just barely not able to do so. Great pickup there from LucifroN without much damage taken.
Pretty big loss there for Baltune, losing out on 2 of his villagers. LucifroN now 3 villagers ahead. Seeing a mixture of archers coming in now as well, so not just Varangians. This is one of the biggest issues, though, that Macedonians have. It is when you go for mixed army composition, you are struggling hard when it comes to getting all the blacksmith upgrades in for your units. He's switching over to mass gold now, though. Okay, it looks like maybe these couple of archers could be just a distraction. And long-term, his plan is still to be going for the mass ranging guards. Upgrades coming in now on the Varangian strongholds for the arrow slits.
Right. Now, both of these players just kind of been posturing into mid-map for quite some time now. Baltune, I'm wondering how much is left inside of that boar that he went on early on, since he's been gathering from it for so long.
Shouldn't be too much left in there at this point, so we'll eventually have to pull back from that point on the map. Just keeping his spearman next to his gold at the moment. Both players just continuously massing units at the moment. LucifroN on that double Uvu. Both players also have the point of interest outposts next to each other's base, so if any of these players decides to move out to the stealth forest part of the map, they're gonna know.
Yep. They'll have that important information. LucifroN, though, he might be able to get a few more picks on this gold, but no, Baltune had perfect reaction time, and they're doing a decent job of keeping track of each other's army. You know, one of the most important things to do in the game is constantly just know where your opponent's army's at and make sure you are positioned in the correct way to be able to react to that, and exactly what he needs to do yet again.
Yeah, Baltune looks like he might be looking for a potential age-up on his side. This could be dangerous, though. LucifroN is not looking for the age-up at all. Outposts, I mean, he's got... I feel like maybe Baltune actually needs to reinvest now into Varangian guards. This is starting to get a little bit dicey. The Varangians actually trade super well up against the Torguds because they go up to 6 melee armor. And Torguds go up to like 11 damage, so you barely take any damage from the Torgud, but you do a good amount of damage to yourself. And there
sure
it is.
Enough,
Yeah, he's reinvesting.
Yeah.
He realizes that he can't just read up to the next age. He actually needs to make units.
Yep. So 4 Varangian guards in Q, 6 now in queue.
He's getting the blacksmith upgrade as well. He just got the Hippodrome Champion, which is just a unit that does not exist on this plane of existence. It's transcended, Babson. It's an Imperial Age unit in Feudal Age.
Well, that will do some good in helping try to defend this push that is seeming sure to be imminent here, but LucifroN actually deciding to pull back a little bit. Maybe at least knows that, hey, he forced a reaction over from Baltune's side, and will he try to go up to castle himself?
So Baltune's aging up now. Secures his gold and the berries with the Golden Horn Tower, and potentially also, like, indirectly, the deer and the berries in the back of his base as well. LucifroN isn't too far from his own age up. He just pulled an additional 7 villagers over to gold, so yeah, it looks like LucifroN wants to follow this up with his own age up behind it all. Now, Baltune pulled all of his gold villagers for it, so the second he gets the age up in, he actually doesn't have gold or resources to make units.
And Castle Age has finished for him. Like you said, though, nothing too scary in queue immediately. Will deter that initial attempt to, you know, you can't dive that Golden Horn Tower for Macedonians, but the big thing here now, Baltune might have a timing push. Golden Horde, it takes a little bit to age up here, so might be able to time something over here with some upgrades or with a couple units that he has.
Yeah, still some difficulty when it comes to, you know, just leaving your base, or rather you're leaving your base with your units. Does have vision over where the military is at the moment, so it's just going to pull over towards this deer. Wants to make sure that these are going to be protected. Scout actively looking for where that military mass from LucifroN is. So is actively paying attention to that. Very, very important. It's a lot of Torguds, but yeah, this fight is not something that LucifroN should take right now. It means that the army from Baltune is going to be forced to stay inside of his base.
Ooh, Scout getting taken down. Baltune will no longer have that knowledge and information. It's going to be so much harder to track where LucifroN is moving out and around too.
Yasak still gonna take a little bit longer to come in with that blow, though. I think, in theory, this shouldn't be that good of an age-up up against the Macedonians, because Baltune at the moment, he doesn't even have a single ranged armor upgrade, so probably just gonna be sticking to melee units here for the foreseeable future. Range damage upgrade, I mean.
And Baltune does have a crossbow in queue, a single, couple crossbows, there we go.
Just a batch, yeah, just a batch production from the Golden Horn Tower. Oh, a single Torgut idling out the food economy there. Cheeky.
Some body blocking shouldn't allow this villager to go down.
It's eventually just gonna reach the Golden Horn Tower.
Baltune securing up the point of interest on his side, so if he does decide to move out to that stealth forest now, LucifroN won't immediately have that information. Speaking of LucifroN, Age Up has just now finished.
And Torgut is getting taken down now as well. A couple of Radari taking care of that.
Yeah, pretty solid surround there from Baltune, and numbers are starting now to mass up for his side, but LucifroN has still had this cav mass just circling around for a while. Hasn't been able to find too much other than that initial gold raid that we saw early on.
Yeah. The issue with this mass that LucifroN has at the moment, the Torguts, they did get auto-upgraded, so Baltune, in theory, currently, he's got the weaker and lower army value, though looks like the Torguts actually don't count towards the army value. Okay, so the overlay is telling us that Baltune's leading in the army value department. He most certainly is not at the moment.
Yeah, it'd be very hard for these pure numbers to favor Baltune here, but this is still quite the army you have to respect.
8 crossbows in queue for LucifroN, 4 in queue with double production. LucifroN's going hard on the crossbows now.
Yeah, is getting very ready to have that very high damage backline to be able to deal with some of the units that Baltune has been making.
It's getting played into now as well. Ooh, gold needs to be evacuated. Let's pay attention to that.
We are getting to the point.
Go ahead.
The
slight villager lead. Slight villager lead at the moment from LucifroN. Just this little bit of a quicker production speed on the TC. It's starting to really make a difference now.
And getting to the points too where initial golds are running out, so having to move up to those stealth forests, having to go to some of those more vulnerable locations, and we can actually see the outline. LucifroN is going to attempt a big wall over there on that west side of the map for him.
Yeah, being early there when it comes to that wall off, but it just means that later on down the line he's going to have a lot more of a leisure when it comes to gathering from the gold there. Baltune's starting to wall in the middle for the time being, but there's no gold in the middle of the map. It's all towards that stealth forest part where LucifroN already sent a couple of Torguts out just to make sure that Baltune hasn't moved out there yet.
Yeah, and another little bit of a raid on the backside. Villager is able to get picked up there just barely.
Yeah, now Baltune needs a stone. I think he needs to, or rather wants to, get a keep up on some of the gold there in the back of the base. Tough situation at the moment for him. Oh, actually, does manage to pull off a villager kill over here. Gets potentially another villager kill on the gold. Finds a way in there with just a single Radari. Attack move though, didn't get the line of sight there. Didn't get the vision on the villagers, so does decide to just fall back towards his attack point.
Yeah, and there's quite a few villagers on that wood line that was right next to it, so it could have caused even more idle time than what we saw. But it does just seem like LucifroN is slowly continuing to eke out this lead for himself over the course of this game now.
Yeah, it looks like Baltune has made a switch now into a lot of archers as well. The archers for Macedonians, they are quite unique in the way that they have an activatable ability which ignores 2 of the armor. But LucifroN's knights, LucifroN's Torguts, with the Muscovy Yasak, they do have an additional 2 ranged armor on them, so it kind of completely makes up for that. think the archers most likely will mostly just be used in order to try and take down the crossbow line and the spearmen from LucifroN, but you have to very actively micro them. Oh, military is chasing after a couple of targets. It's a base from Baltune, it's not protected.
And LucifroN is looking to punish that heavily. Wood line getting very thin. It's on the front side. 1 villager down, 2 villagers down. Nope, 2.5 villagers down. But Baltune forced to react with his army. Is this army going to be enough to defend this? One of the archer masses split off, gets closed on, and Baltune cannot take this fight right now.
Does have the wall cam, so is every now and then getting a couple of free-ish units out. Wouldn't say free, actually. He does have to, like, lose units, which he has paid for in order to get them. He's off of gold completely at the moment. Has no gold access at all. Just 1 relic. Name his own. Yeah, now he needs to potentially take a fight here, but he doesn't have quite the military numbers for it. But is getting forced into it nonetheless.
Yeah, has units split on either side, but LucifroN already ready for that split, was able to deter the cav away from the backside that he had, and just continuing to kite up into this stealth forest here.
Whereas Baltune at the moment still has one of his scouts alive. Fight is being taken, runestone's getting dropped. Archers with the bonus pierce damage, but it doesn't look to be enough. Now they're also going to be moving slowly. Might's already run out. I have to run back, but these are heavy, heavy losses now for Baltune.
Heavy losses, but does still at least have his archer mass alive. Does have a little bit of reinforcements coming on in, but this is a point where LucifroN's mass could just try to close the gap, surround that archer mass, since there's not much of a front line, if anything at all. And Baltune's in trouble.
Always run back to the Golden Horn Tower, which is like a mini Red Palace. So it does have a lot of survivability around it. This is tough at the moment. Needs to just continue sniping out those spears, but every time he steps up, those charges can take down a lot of the archers. Still completely cut off from any gold access. He's got a lot of stone in the bank, just can't really drop a keep anywhere at the moment.
Yeah, can't move out to that stealth forest side where all the gold veins are to drop a keep. That's where LucifroN's army is posturing, has that point of interest as well, and LucifroN is just in full control right now.
31 military to 73. LucifroN's income over 1,000 food per minute. Baltune just sitting at 400. Nowhere near the capability of remassing his army. He's at a total of like 1,000 resource per minute. LucifroN almost tripling that.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you'd think looking at that Baltune's whole entire eco would be idle, but it seems to be working. Maybe he just decided to move a big mass of vills, but even still, LucifroN is just continuing to expand this lead, turn that snowball into an avalanche over here.
Sacred Sites now also being locked in already on 9 stockyards. 9 stockyards, that's already like 36 villagers worth of active food gathering at the moment for LucifroN. So the food transition, yeah, look at that. Food transition already completed for him at this point. Not the most, I want to say, efficient stockyard gathering there, as he is not going to be in a position to utilize the edict for additional gold income the way he placed them, but might not even get to that point where that's needed.
Yeah, it does have 3 relics secured for himself as well. Baltune hasn't been able to get the second one on his side just because, again, that army mass from LucifroN. Baltune said, all right, I know what won me the Molly game. It was some of these raids, trying to find some damage, trying to find some places to raid, but LucifroN has been proactive with his walls and proactive with the vision that he has.
Now, Baltune able to potentially find his way onto some gold. Drops a keep next to a gold vein. Small gold vein, albeit. But no, the villagers then! GG, instant GG!
I was like, I saw the yellow mass moving out on the map, and I was like, hopefully that's his military coming to help the villagers and not the villagers. And LucifroN wrapped at the perfect time. Just felt like LucifroN had control of that game the majority of the time.
Yeah, he just postured around the gold and Baltune just not getting any gold access. You lose out not just on the gold, but also without any silver income. You just don't have the like the part of the economy that makes Macedonian be able to keep up with other civilizations, considering just them not having any eco bonuses at all. You can tell, like looking at the total resources gathered there, LucifroN having like 50% more resource gathered than Baltune. That was a loss in the making for Baltune there. That game just kept spiraling out of control more and more the longer he was off of gold there.
Yeah, it definitely turned very bad, and that's like with some of these new maps. It's very interesting with the limited resources, especially certain ones like this one. It forces you to secure that stealth foresty part pretty early on, and if you don't, you can get punished hard for it, and that's exactly what LucifroN did.
Indeed. Next up, King of the Hill. We're getting a classic civilization pick here for LucifroN with the ruse. Shushi's Legacy on King of the Hill. I don't know about you, Debson. I feel like they don't really have anything special going on for them on King of the Hill. They're just standard, pretty good on a lot of maps speaking. But the ruse, they got like some crazy synergies on King of the Hill with the surrounding woodline.
Yeah, Ruse can definitely get very, very scary, but the one thing that to mention with LucifroN especially is this is the third time he's tried to get Sengoku picked, and Baltune is not letting him have it. Just sniped out yet again, and allowing Ruse on King of the Hill, which is one that I feel like we've been seeing since the beginning of time.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. I feel like. I mean, the ruse for the Spanish players, I feel like it kind of holds a special place for them. They've been playing it since like through all of its different phases. Even now, at the point in time where ruse has been, I want to say, like nerfed repeatedly, especially when it comes to their cavalry archer playstyle. Used to be that you can just spam cav archers all day and be fine with that being like your one unit army composition as the ruse. Nowadays, you can't just rely on them. Sure, they attack a little bit faster, but the damage has been nerfed tremendously. They went from like 12 damage to 10 damage now. So armored units actually do serve a purpose as a meat shield up against them. It takes a lot longer for them to reach the point of critical mass to one-shot armored units. On a map like this, like you just get such an insane amount of resources from the hunting cabins, from the high trade house. It is so much passive gold income, and you can continuously like they buffed the hunting cabins. They now only cost 75 wood. So you can go all the way along the wood line and just keep building hunting cabin one after another, and just rake in all of that passive gold income.
Yeah, and it's not an easy thing for your opponent to deny, even if they like know you're gonna do it. It's like, oh yeah, let me go like send some horsemen to go try to burn it down, and they just it takes a while, it takes a lot of investment to burn one down, and they can already have another one built up on the other side. So just very, very nice ability for Roos. And you did mention the high trade house. We all know how many times we've seen it just dropped in the corner and provide an absurd amount of resources.
Yeah. It's not just the gold that you get in as well. It's also just the deer with the food. It means that you don't have to make that farm transition, or you can really take your time with the farm transition. It's going to be a much smoother process. You're never going to be running into that one point where you're just out of food entirely and you can't make units. You'll always have those deer to rely on that are getting spawned in periodically from the high trade house. Shushi's Legacy, some things that they get going for them here is, of course, if they get a good spawn, there tends to be one side that's like berries and potentially gold and stone right next to the woodline, so you can get like great meditation gardens in. That is a potential there for them. And their fast castle age up, you have the Shaolin Monastery, which you get in Monastery immediately. You can immediately start taking control over the middle sacred side, so you can kind of start playing into that mechanic and try and take relics behind that. Becomes a little bit messy when Roos also goes for a little bit of a feudal age army production, maybe a knight or two, some spearmen here and there. Then you will also have to counter invest. But overall, you should be able to get a faster age up, and you should be able to get a good bunch of the relics in early The question is just how much do you need to produce in Feudal Age in order to match production from the Rus should they go for it.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, we all know King of the Hill is, if Castle Age comes out, it's going to be a battle for that sacred site. So will Baltune be able to get a clean castle, start that tick coming on soon? Only time will tell. Game number 4 beginning now. Baltune leading 2-1, playing as Zushi's Legacy in the color yellow, with LucifroN down 1-2, playing as the Rus in the color red.
There it is, immediate double hunting cabin opener there. One of
Where's
the
that sheep
looks
going?
to be. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he wants it to go to the hunting cabin, but wait, look at what LucifroN's doing. He's going for triple hunting cabin opener. This is planned.
Oh. We were confused by the sheep taking a little walk over there, but yeah, LucifroN triple hunting cabin opener just because of how much gold, how much payoff these things can have.
What an interesting opening here. This definitely has to be something that he practiced, and we're gonna be able to pay witness to how that's gonna pay out in a pro game, in a competitive pro game here now. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, just these slight little differences. It's always interesting when a new build pops up on, especially when it's in a very, very crucial game, to say the least, when he is down 1-2.
Something to keep in mind, now that the hunting cabins, sure, they've been nerfed on the gold trickle, but they've also been buffed on the cost. If you get to like 20, 25 gold per minute, that's a really good return on investment time. We're talking about like sub 3 minutes almost on some of these cases with the hunting cabins, especially when you read the upper Rus bounties with the food gathering as well. With less than 3 minutes return on investment, they're getting close to like manor level return on investment, except that they're not reliant on the presence of villagers to pay off.
Yeah, so it is definitely one of those that you put it down, you forget about it, and you're happy with the gold trickle. There's been so many matches I've cast of Rus where you look back at their base at 20 minutes and they've might not even have a mining camp on their gold yet, or if they do, they just have like 3 villagers on it, because that's all they need with how much gold this civ can passively produce.
And this LucifroN does have triple scouts out on the field, so it's just going to be using those now in order to start harassing a little bit onto the gold mine. Looks like the meditation garden is going to get put up by Baltune next to Doubleberry, Gold, and the wood line. Can we take a quick look at that? See. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. Don't think he's getting all of the. Yeah, he's not getting all of the berries, but that should be hitting 3 there. And all of the other berries. So we're taking. That's going to be like 6 berry patches there, plus a 3. Gold and some of the wood. Should be a good one. Should be roughly 100, like maybe a little bit more than 100 resource per minute. But this is just annoying right now. These scouts torching down that mining camp there. We're at a point as well with Baltune. He's right at like the 50 wood mark. Every now and then the villagers are pathing weirdly, and if he wants to go for a force drop-off, look at how LucifroN just continuously moves the scouts to be annoying there. Oh my god. That's so
just
toxic.
Constantly trying to body block, constantly trying to cause that annoying pathing where the villagers take the long circle around, which we already saw happen a few times, and the torch damage definitely adding up, as basically one of those villagers is idled out, and not just idled, having to use wood resources to rebuild it.
Yeah, so a good amount of idle time, a good amount of wood lost there for Baltune, and now Ajab's going to be coming in for LucifroN as well. 5 villagers working on that golden gate, and yeah, he's got a pretty good passive gold income behind this, courtesy of the bounty and, of course, those hunting cabins. So we'll be getting off the ground running there as soon as he gets the Ajab in. We'll even need to, like, sell any resources through the Golden Gate in order to be able to afford Pro Scout. I don't even need to.
Yeah, it looks like it might just kind of time up perfectly here in a second. And saving those tickets would be very, very nice. Spearman has come out to finally push those scouts away from the mining camp. He will now have 3 villagers working on gold again. Scout needs to be careful, though.
Could get taken down. Oh, he is very low. No, no, oh my god. Oh my god. That is... The nerves, man, the nerves.
I thought it was dead. I thought it was dead.
Almost, but looks like Baltune doesn't want to get distracted at the moment by the scouts inside of his base. He's sending the spears forward. There's no archery range yet on the way for LucifroN. He did just click up with the professional scout upgrade, so is going to be getting that one in. Baltune moving across the map. Could be looking for some of those hunting cabins.
Could be looking for the hunting cabins. Could also position the spears to try to deter the, or delay, I guess would be the better word, those first couple deer from coming in. As pro scouts will be finished up in the near future here now.
Getting his pro scouts in ahead of time, ahead of LucifroN here, courtesy of that Imperial official supervision. Let's not discriminate between upgrades. You're just getting everything in at the speed of light. Means that behind all of this great timing now from LucifroN, he might still end up with just his own deer. None of the deer packs from Baltune, potentially. As this one hunting cabin is also getting torched down now.
Hunting cabin slowly torched down. And this is what we're talking about. It takes these spears so much time to end up actually burning down the hunting cabin. It has paid its price. But spears of LucifroN's own should push those few spears away, so hunting cabin will stay alive and won't have a worry yet. There it is, Archer even to follow up as well.
Spearman still trying to get fortune potentially. Nah, Baltune realized, okay, I'm not going to be getting this one down. Has to leave it alone now. Behind this, Baltune just sending out a lot of villagers back out to gold. Maybe a little too many, I want to say. It's definitely going to be floating gold before the age up even comes in. Might want to secure an extra bit of gold, maybe. Or knights upon hitting the castle age. This feels like a little bit of an overinvestment.
Yeah, maybe, you know, I feel like that's where sometimes you'll see an eco upgrade come down. And sure enough, there we go. We got the mining upgrade in queue as we speak. So, you know, can at least give yourself a little bit of some eco advantage going into Castle Age if you do make that play. 7 more deer coming back on in for Baltune.
Having 7 scouts on it means that you just need a single crew, or rather a single trip to a deer pack in order to just vacuum up the entire deer pack, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely very nice. It is quite a bit of an investment, though. Usually you'll see people tend to kind of lean more into the way that LucifroN's doing it, 4 or 5 scouts, and then just, you know, slowly have that trickle come back on in. He is dropping some deer next to his TC. He's going to want those next to the mill here.
Scout still trying to collect some of the deer. Spearman from LucifroN gonna be there to deny, though. Baltune is gonna be able to get that age up in first. Mount Blue Academy has just been clicked up with 9 villagers, so that's gonna be coming in very, very quickly now. He has a good amount of gold in the bank. What units are we gonna see? We see a Palace Guard in queue. Scout getting picked up, but I mean, Baltune's got 7 left, so not the biggest issue there for him. There's plenty of scouts to bring back some of the deer.
Might have to drop that back one with 2 more spears running this one down. And sure enough, drops one. Might need to drop the other one as well. Just slowly ferrying these back as fast as he can. The Palace Guard does arrive, but the scout turns around just a bit too early.
Now High Trade House coming in. Look at that, alongside some funny little walls there as well. Wants to make sure that these villagers are going to be nice and cozy, nice and safe next to that High Trade House. So won't be having to deal with any interruptions there on the gathering. Palace Guard, not going to be able to do too well here up against the archers. They do, of course, lack that additional pierce armor compared to a normal men-at-arms. But now also some archers inside of the wood line. But the knights coming out at the correct point in time in order to take care of those. LucifroN is going to be losing his archers now.
Archers got cleared up. A couple more of those deer should get brought back in, but now we're at the point where it's going to be a castle age play. Who's going to be able to secure these first few relics? Who's going to be the one to start the timer on the sacred site?
Don't have any monks yet, as far as I can tell. At least no warrior monks out yet from LucifroN. Not sure if he even dropped the monastery yet. We immediately see knights coming out from him, so he did at least drop a stable. Yeah, a lot of production buildings actually have been dropped by LucifroN, just no monastery yet. Baltune also no monk or religious building in yet. But he is going to be going for a mixture of the cavalry archers alongside some knights. The question is just, is it going to be enough, as Baltune already has 4 knights on the field? There aren't too many spearmen out there from LucifroN.
Yeah, those few spears left on over from the feudal age deer ferrying, and I feel like those few spears he had, yeah, I was about to say, they're like 10% health each, so those spears are basically worthless at this point. Village just gets finished. Such a heavy focus onto gold, onto food right now for Baltune. Meanwhile, you can see LucifroN has that roost effect that does not have to go out to that gold vein at all right now.
Yeah, we're now getting almost up to 10 lances. LucifroN the first one now to queue up a religious unit. Warrior Monk will be coming out soon, and Baltune, once again, he's just waiting with the knights in front of LucifroN's base to go for that all-in timing. We're seeing the second Pierce armor upgrade coming in now for him, before LucifroN even queued his first Pierce damage upgrade. So he is basically not going to be doing a lot of damage to those knights at all. They're going to be having 6 ranged armor against just 10 damage. Oh, we're turning on the scout lines there.
Yeah, there have been a few scouts this game. Just
yeah,
a few.
There's been some scouting lines. We'll put it like that. This looks like you know, those high exposure videos of like space or something like that, where all the stars just form lines in the sky.
I was thinking just when a little kid gets crayons and just starts drawing lines everywhere.
Alright, Baltune isn't going for any religious units at all. He has one plan and one plan only. He wants to end this game with a single mass knight dive inside of the base from LucifroN. LucifroN just started queuing up Spearman again. He just lost his remaining last 2 that he had up. Couple of Cav Archers in, but once again, there's still no Blacksmith upgrade. It is coming in right now, though. Behind this, we're also getting the Dali horses, so 20% additional attack speed on these knights from the Shushi's Legacy. This is the point in time now. Baltune, he needs to go for the attack soon. He cannot keep hanging back. Eventually, LucifroN will be getting those relics back into his base, and that is the point where LucifroN's going to start scaling better. Behind this, of course, he also has the high trade house, so a ton of passive gold income. He's already at 400 gold per minute without a single villager on gold right now.
Yeah, I feel like Baltune is losing this timing that he could take advantage of. He has a huge mass. He has the upgrades on through. Guess I don't know what he is waiting on. Spots out the mass here from LucifroN.
This is exactly what LucifroN has right now. Pierce damage level 2 on its way. Looks like Baltune might potentially be missing his timing here. He's had the upgrades, but he had the upgrade advantage. That's about to get even out now by Baltune. By LucifroN.
Yep, Baltune's going for it now. He split off a few of the Lancers, maybe to go into some of the economy. Great
Body
job
block.
by LucifroN, body blocking, fighting into this choke point here. A few of those Lancers that split off are on the Foodville. A few more split off go to the wood line. So LucifroN, he needs to be able to hold this without taking too much damage. Wood villagers having to evacuate. He is losing some villagers on the wood line, losing some on the front line, but is the
Rally
garrison
coming in.
going to be enough?
Wololo, defensive Wololo. Baltune, he's losing a
Baltune's
knight. 2 knights!
Two.
Loses 2 knights! That is big. That could change this entire fight around now. Another Wololo coming in. Baltune losing 2 knights to a Wololo. He kills a lot of the villagers. LucifroN has lost a lot of the villagers. Another knight? Did I see that correct? Another knight just got converted there?
I think you might be right, which that's such a big difference here. Baltune would have been able to still have the numbers. The economy difference, though, he's killed 14 eco kills after that push. If he didn't lose those couple knights, it might have just been over from that point.
He's going Song Dynasty now. Behind this Jiangnan Tower coming in for Baltune. This is an interesting situation. 230 gold per minute. Some archers just harassing on the gold out there. Baltune just made the switch over to the gold vein here. Knight is coming in to save the day, though. Wheelbarrow has been researched, but it looks like the villager did have a death wish and will have that one fulfilled as well. Yeah, it's 3 knights that have been converted here.
Oh, that's such a sad thing to see, but Baltune still in a fine positioning point after the big push. Like you said, he's going Song Dynasty. He's got a decent eco lead. Do the 3 relics, almost about to be 4 relics, make up for the 12 villager deficit that LucifroN has?
Baltune going for a triple archery range play now with the Zhengnan Tower. Is getting some Zhuge-Nu in pretty much immediately, but LucifroN 4 relics in with an insane amount of passive gold income now. I know he lost a ton of villagers, but is he fine? He might be fine with that. It's just so much passive income for him that he might not even need to have the villager lead.
And Baltune, he's struggling on gold quite a bit. Or not gold, sorry, food quite a bit. Hasn't moved out to the berries. He is looking like he's making a boar play over on that eastern side after the walls that are being dropped. So desperately needs to rebuild this this food economy that he can have. LucifroN's numbers looking so scary, though. He is getting to that point where the horse archer mass is getting very critical and very scary for the lancers to deal with.
Yeah, Zhuge-Nu are getting upgraded, but there's just not a big mass of them out there at the moment. A couple more now in queue. Most of them have actually just been produced for free from the Zhengnan Tower with the archer range that have been dropped. Still not a good mass for sure, and LucifroN just continuing massing up those knights. He's got 700 gold in the bank. Getting a lot more out, and still a lot of food just courtesy of those free deer spawning in. He still keeps that relic at the front line just to be able to Wololo defend in order to buy himself a little bit more kiting potential there.
Another Lancer gets taken down. Baltune, he can't take this fight. That horse archer mass, like we said, it is getting to that point where he is starting to just easily kite this out, take down Lancer after Lancer. If the full-on fight doesn't get taken, gold needs to be evacuated as well. Baltune is in trouble. Here's Zhuge-Nu, though.
Get revealed.
This fight, it's about to be taken.
And Wololo comes in. Baltune needs to fall back yet again. It's just so many knights down now as well. There is no Boyar's Fortitude in yet, but yeah, look at that. These knights are getting taken down rather quickly now. Zhuge-Nu just lacked the range and the speed to catch up. Never mind, Boyar's Fortitude already in as well. Yeah, LucifroN's chilling.
So close to having this game, to being in that position he needed to, but just a few Wololos, just a few things here and there can prove to be the difference. LucifroN massing up and has been microing that military to perfection here now. Chooks able to try to take the fight against those horse archers. That's the exact fight that Baltune wants to be taken, but another couple villagers do fall trying to get these walls up that he needs.
The knight getting taken down, getting sniped out there by the cav archers, and LucifroN's starting to break into the base there from Baltune. Fierce Armor level 2 also about to be coming in. At that point, the Zhuge-Nu will not be doing too much damage to the front line here from LucifroN, at which point LucifroN, he already has more knights now than Baltune, with more damage potential against the knights as well. Baltune has against the knights from LucifroN. Fight is getting forced now. Still a back and forth, big back and forth here from LucifroN, and he has the movement speed advantage. He can decide how and when to take these engagements.
Yeah, and Baltune, it looks like he's being forced to take this engagement. As he falls back, he loses 1, 2, 3 more units. It just feels so bad when you're playing against the high mobility that LucifroN has. Fight still being taken, though, and Chooks, that damage is slowly starting to add up over here.
Baltune able to hold for the time being, but LucifroN's up to almost 800 passive gold per minute. It's crazy. for being 20 minutes into the game. Yeah, Sacred Side also taking behind it all. But yeah, good kill there. Good kills on the Cav Archers, and now Spearman also coming in.
Yeah, and it's not a keep on the middle sacred site, but we are seeing a triple wooden fortress being dropped on that sacred site with some sprinkled emplacements being invested into. So LucifroN is wanting to make sure this timer continues to tick down 7 minutes and 7 seconds until he has this game number 4 secures and tied up the series.
So now he's got a pretty decent amount of spearmen out in the field. This kind of just suddenly exploded into a big mass of these spearmen. Does have the definite military advantage at the moment, I want to say. So if a fight's getting taken, Baltune definitely not in a bad spot. Just needs to make sure that the Jugunu can stay on top of the cavalry archers there.
Does he have an answer for these outposts? Is he gonna just try to go for the burn with how many, frontline units he has, or is he gonna try to have to make the transition into siege, which just feels so delayed? LucifroN, he sent villagers onto gold, and now you're getting to that point where he doesn't even know what to do with the gold he's been getting because there's so much of it.
Food-wise, he's kind of struggling, though. He's investing all of his food non-stop. Doesn't even have that much coming in at the moment. Baltune actually overtaking him in the food income. Overall economy not looking too bad here. Baltune is actually leading with the total resources collected. Villager losses kind of starting to make themselves be shown.
LucifroN does break through, only since 2 knights through, though.
Gonna be annoying for sure. German reinforcements coming in though. 1 knight getting sniped down immediately. 5 wooden fortresses now. And look at the stone that he has. He's gonna upgrade all of them. There might be a keep coming in here soon as well.
Baltune is going to be forced. He's going to be forced to start to make some sort of siege to take that down. That's one of those that if you try to run a bunch of spears on into that mass, like, yeah, you might take a couple of the wooden fortresses down, but you are going to take some heavy losses if those are all sprinkled emplacements and with arrow slits. Just sprinkleds for now.
Still roaming around. 40 spearmen now. Baltune's starting to get some villagers onto stone as well. Not sure if he wants to drop a keep or just some stone walls to prevent these continuous raids, but we're now getting to sub 5 minute and a keep getting put up by LucifroN in the middle. Yeah, LucifroN is starting to hunker down. He knows that he's got a pretty good win condition here, that if he can... Look at all the castle turret upgrades coming in behind us as well.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, LucifroN, he definitely wants to fortify this position at least a little bit. That's safe to say now. Baltune, if he gets vision of this, and I think it looks like he will in just a little bit. Yeah, he sees the keep now, sees that there's a lot of wooden fortresses. He will know, okay, this is going to be a game that is going to get decided by siege. But he does, of course, have the ability, as the Shushi's Legacy, to supervise the siege workshops. No, not siege engineering. No, no.
Many knights.
That no. Unless
he does have 2 nested bees out.
Yeah, 2 is better than 0. That might not be enough. He's gonna legitimately, like, 4 or 5 trebuchets are probably needed here. Just drop some stone walls to make sure you can't be raided on the other side. That way you can. No, please don't. No, he's going for
It's rams. We're getting a ram ranch over here. 5 rams.
Mind yourself, Snooper. Rams suck. I know you want to make him. There's a Barbican there. I got PTSD from that voice redeem.
6 rams coming in for Baltune. Is it going to be enough? Looks like LucifroN trying to go take some berries. Doesn't realize that Baltune's already been over onto the berries. Walls being dropped.
Oh no. Oh no.
This is such a feels bad with how many wooden fortresses there already are. Villagers going heavy onto the stone.
No. Oh
Double.
No. Oh no. Only Jesus can help him now.
Surely he's gonna like queue up some trebuchets too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Military army value? Dude, how is LucifroN ahead in the army value while having a disgusting amount of fortifications here as well? He's got enough stone to drop another keep. Instead, he's going for boiling oil as well. Oh, Baltune going for a forward keep now. Okay.
I'm good with that. This makes sense now a little bit here.
Yeah. Now the Rams have a lot more protection going for them. Just difficulty with the pathing now. Like,
right,
look at these Rams.
have...
They're trying to make it through.
Yeah, Rams suck. Remind yourself, everybody. Yeah. So 2 of them are attacking, it looks like. I think the other 4 are stuck behind. Alright, wall gets broken, and on to the
There's
next.
the second keep.
Alright, another keep is about halfway done.
They're in. Maybe park one of the Rams on the sacred side. It's moving in. There's a lot of choke points. That means the nest of bees can get a lot of value in.
Villagers getting pulled. Nest of bees are getting a ton of AoE damage down, but will it be enough? Wooden fortresses non-stop firing, keeps are non-stop firing. Baltune is fighting under some emplacements that are doing an absurd amount of damage to his infantry mass, and look at the numbers. LucifroN's numbers aren't moving, where Baltune's are just falling and falling fast.
Some Grenadiers in there as well. The front line starting to evaporate from LucifroN as well, though. Not too many Knights. There's still some Rams out there. Villagers actually being used to torch down the Rams. He's getting some good shots in, but there's still so many cavalry archers remaining at the end of the day.
It's not enough.
LucifroN, LucifroN just lost 25, 30-ish villagers there in that fight. There's still a minute remaining on the sacred side.
There's no siege workshop. There's no trebuchets. Only 2 wooden fortresses fell. He has emplacements. This is still just all but over.
Less than 1 minute remaining now. What's the plan? Una, he's making on the Ram again.
He needs a lot more than just 1 ram. But maybe the ram can slowly, if it's the first one on the sacred side, it can stall, it can delay.
Aren't any Knights, so maybe, yeah. Wait, where is this? Where are the what? How are the villagers? He was gathering gold from Lucifron's gold vein? Inside of his base? Excuse you?
Villagers are being pulled now, though. Ram is trying to delay as long as possible here. 27 seconds. Timer is not ticking down. Double nest of bees still continuing to fire. Cav archers are coming in. Villagers pulling out the torches. Another
They're
ram
on the nest of
way.
bees. No, they're not preparing. They're fighting.
They're and the Cav archers prove to be enough as Baltune not able to take this game, not able to recapture the hill, and LucifroN ties up the series. It's 2-2 going into one of his favorite maps with water.
Game number 5. We're going the distance here in this one today. First best of 5, and this one so far has been definitely delivering, as we're gonna be going the entire distance in the set.
Absolutely, and what an exciting King of the Hill game. I feel like they're always, you know, they always have those come down to the wire with that timing, and it's just one where LucifroN had too much reinforcements. These Wololos were so crucial for him, as you can just see how many Lancers Baltune has, and LucifroN just didn't have an answer for it, but transitioning 3 over to his side, it just made it to where he held enough and gave him enough to recapture the map control.
Yeah. I feel like there was a timing with the Knights, right, where Baltune, he was inside of the base from LucifroN. It looked so good there. He killed a ton of villagers, but those Wololos that came in, losing out 3 of your Knights and giving them over to your opponent, that just completely stalled out the push. And next up, we're gonna be something akin to a mirror here. So we're gonna be witnessing French against JD on Holy Island.
Well, that one will be an exciting one to say the least. You know, my thought is with this one is, do you think if he went with, you know, 4 trebuchets here instead of the Rams, this fight would have gone a little bit different? I feel like he still wouldn't have had enough time to do the trebuchets.
I think like there were like 6 Rams there, right? So that's like 1,200 wood. I think if you get to like 3 trebuchets combined with the keep, you should have enough time to like do significant damage there to the infrastructure. That was at a point when I think there were still like 5 minutes remaining. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's tough to say. It's honestly tough to say if like what would have been the correct choice there. I just think the Rams are too slow with the pathing and just awkward to use, and you lose them so quickly in fights. They did a great job like capturing or delaying on the sacred side, but in the end just was not enough to get rid of the infrastructure in the back there, which is what you really want to do.
Yeah, what an exciting game though. And following up, we have Holy Island. You know, some people like water, some people hate water. There is still one that I feel like Holy Island's that map that grows on everybody a little bit as you watch it, as it does have a little bit of aspects on both sides.
Yeah, Holy Island, it's one of those maps where you really have to be on top of your game when it comes to awareness, because there's just so many different lanes. You got like the land map part, you got the water part as well, both incredibly important, and at any one point there are potentially going to be fights on both areas at the same time, and they tend to be micro-intensive, right? Like water is always a micro-intensive game, because you need to be aware whenever those demo ships come in. You need to kite, you need the archer ships, you need to focus the right ships at the same time, and then also on land, the Spanish brothers just excel in those situations. And Baltune, I'm not sure if he's too versed in water maps, I'll have to be honest. I think that could be a little bit of a situation where he just might not have the experience, potentially, on these water maps. We'll have to see.
I mean, we know the Spanish bros are famous for their water gameplay, especially Holy Island gameplay. You know, all of a sudden you see 5, 6, 7 demos, and water gets claimed and controlled by the Spanish bros. But game number 5 begins now. LucifroN playing as the French in the color red. Baltune as the French variant. JD playing in the color yellow. Game number 5.
Here we go. Immediately, we've got Baltune moving out to the deer. So it looks like he's not even going for the water immediately. It's going to be a fast fuel age play from him. He's got the house here. Does he have a mill too? I'm not seeing the mill yet. No, there is a mill. I can see the shadow of the mill. Yeah.
I was hoping there was a mill.
Would have been better. This isn't Japan, after all, that we're talking about here. But yeah, looks like we're going to have a situation where LucifroN is going to be going for the water play. And look at that. LucifroN, he's paranoid. He's putting up walls to keep the stock safe.
Yeah, I mean, if you go and scout your opponent immediately not on water and you've claimed it, it's just that timing point where you say, just give me some time. If you get your fishing to pay off, usually, you know, you can just make 2, 3 fishing boats and then just have a little bit of a delayed age up yourself, and then you are in a much, much better positioning point than your opponent.
Man, Baltune's getting value without knowing that he's getting value here. First fishing ship probably has been a little bit delayed by these initial walls as well. Second villager has been pulled as well. Yeah, this is pretty good for Baltune now. This should be a much better age up timing here for him. He'll see some knights coming in very early on. And the thing is, if you look at the minimap, there aren't, unless there's gold being overshadowed by the big clump of Minecraft sheep there on the minimap, which they're not, there aren't any golds right next to the waterline. So, I mean, LucifroN, he's got the option of, like, shipping villagers out to the gold island, imprisoning them over there. But other than that, he's gonna struggle when it comes to getting gold access.
Yeah, and this is that timing that Baltune could potentially take advantage of. Looks like LucifroN. Okay, I was about to say he started to pull back, but it wasn't the pull back. It was the mining camp hadn't finished on up yet. Sheep get dropped off, but needs to go ahead and gather enough gold for that age up.
School Cavalry now coming in for Baltune. JD as well as 2 villagers working on that, so should be getting a pretty good age-up timing here.
Still no wood being gathered in sight. Now has a few going over to that straggler tree.
Probably just for a house,
sure.
but yeah, this is just gonna be that full-on land aggression here from Baltune. He's really trying to, like, just make this a chaotic game on land, but look at LucifroN's economy. He's already getting close to his own age up as well.
Yeah, and this is that big problem. Like, you also can afford, if you're LucifroN, to age up with 5, 6 villagers instead of 3 because you have 3 fishing boats, but isn't going too crazy, just has 4 villagers on the School of Cav, so will not be too delayed himself over there.
Yeah. School of Cavalry from both sides about to be finishing, but yeah, this is going to be a rough one now for Baltune, as LucifroN, of course, with the better economy now that he has got 3 fishing ships already. Look at the food income already. He's at 450 food compared to 300 from Baltune, and Baltune's even on the deer, which is a superior food source in theory.
Yeah, Baltune really needs to get some type of damage done with this first night, this first 30 extra seconds that he's going to have with it, but LucifroN already will have that perfect knowledge, that perfect information of where the knight will be going because we see where his scouts parked.
Right in front of Baltune's base. Baltune probably also, yeah, he did scout the dock, so he knows what's going on there. Probably knows that he's behind now, or must anticipate at the very least. First knight is coming in, still 20 seconds left on that age up from LucifroN. Has enough resource for 1 knight, no villager on gold at the moment. He's trying to rush up an outpost instead. And that's going to further make it difficult for Baltune to secure gold vein.
Yeah, outpost will get finished in time with 5 villagers rushing it on down. So now this kind of is one that Baltune's early feudal play goes, okay, well, what do I do now?
We'll see.
Maybe try to circle, go hit the wood line as well.
The issue is that if you hit the wood line, you might also clip the TC there. Taking damage on those knights, just not something that you can really afford in Baltune right now. Oh, he's going for the counter outpost. Knights coming in time, though. That's going to be a rough timing. Might be an outpost from JD. Yeah, JD is getting spotted out there, though, by the scout. So LucifroN sees what's going to be coming here. Has a lot of HP on JD, though, at the very least, so will be difficult to snipe her out.
Yeah, second night in queue for LucifroN now. Third night in queue for Baltune. So Baltune's just one inch ahead over there, but I think LucifroN opted for a return raid with his knight. Yeah, killed a villager with the knight on the other side, denying the deer. So great job there by LucifroN.
Baltune has his reinforcement knight ready for it, though. And the outpost is going to be going up on the gold, but LucifroN already moved out to the next gold behind this. So there's going to be barely any idle time already secured with an outpost as well.
Yeah, such a good job here. Villagers jump inside the outpost, reacting to the night raid. Obviously, villagers, you know, have that perfect vision with the outpost that they have, but, you know, LucifroN just not over-investing in the water.
Gets another kill. 10 eco unit lead now for LucifroN. He's still making fishing ships behind all of this as well. Up to 4 now.
Yeah, I love it that he's not just over-investing into the fishing, just some here and there every so often, just getting what he needs. And Baltune is struggling as far as keeping those villagers alive, those night raids circling, tracking, and now JD is trying to go to the other gold. Oh no. Outpost got left. And another villager.
Baltune did find the gold out there. Knight, relatively low in health. He pulled him back for a second, but he's going to dive back in.
No ranged armor.
Yeet. He's going to die. Oh, no. Villagers make it out as well. Baltune could potentially snipe one there with the holy arrow. Yeah, did he? No, he didn't even get the villager. Ooh, rough situation.
Now
is next gold
just gonna move. Yeah, moves to the next gold. Even has double dock now, so has full control of this water play.
JD coming in, sees the double outpost play. Snap the knights right next to her though. First knight could be going down. Oh, doesn't go down. But knight from top side should be getting at least one kill. Gets it. Knight makes it out there. The weak one gets pulled back.
Second outpost trying to get finished. Doesn't quite get finished though.
Such a rough spot at the moment.
Heal used by JD, making sure that other knight didn't go down to the air slit or the outpost fire. And what's LucifroN do? He says, all right, on to the next gold again. Back to the other gold. So another outpost gets dropped. More gold trying to get secured over here.
Yeah, just a non-stop rotation going on there between these gold veins.
And the big problem as this continues to go, the water economy is just going to get further and further out of hand.
Behind this, like, Baltune's done a great job of just forcing LucifroN's villagers to keep on walking, idling them out effectively. We're now at 7 to 3 knights currently. That's pretty good. This could skyrocket, actually, or rather compound into a continuous issue now for LucifroN.
I love what LucifroN did right there, though. He pulled his few knights to try to like act like he was about to snipe JD, but what it did is it caused Baltune to react with his own knights and gave him the breathing room to get the villagers out from the outpost and back home safe.
Chivalry coming in now, and once again, shift over to the other gold vein. LucifroN 2 more knights in queue. This time, double outpost emplacement coming in, though. This could be a little bit too much for Baltune to handle here.
Baltune's trying to take it. There's a few more knights out and about. JD, though, by herself yet again.
Double outpost with emplacement. That's a lot of compounding damage on JD. JD is going to get sniped.
JD's down.
And the outpost repair immediately. Yeah, Baltune, he can't stay here. He needs to leave. He needs to leave this side immediately. One more knight going to go down.
Problem is, I feel like he knows his timing, though. I feel like he knows he needs to do something here or else it's over. And sure enough, he buys back JD. He has dropped a dock. He's going to go try to snipe down some fishing on the other side.
Ooh, this is going to be some tight timing, though, as LucifroN's already anticipating this. He gets his own archer ship out now behind this as well. Demo ship alongside the archer ship. Maybe if he goes for, like, double demo ship, he could snipe a clump of the fishing ships. Just not something that's too realistic.
And just look at how fast LucifroN was able to equalize the knight numbers on his side. All of a sudden, you blink, he was down 4, 5, 6 knights, and all of a sudden it's almost dead even.
Archer ship finds his opponent's archer ship. Demo ship needs to get pulled back. Let's realize. Goes for a little bit of a distraction there with it. To 9 knights now, 9 to 8. Snipes one out. LucifroN's just so on point in this game. Now a Springle ship coming in as well. Baltune doesn't quite have what it takes to get one out on his side as well. Now LucifroN actually feeling confident enough to split up some of the knights to go for raids again. Over on Baltune's side.
And I mean, any extra breathing room he gives himself is so crucial with the amount of fishing that he has. The Springle ship is out and about, starting to circle.
I think this has been spotted. Yeah, it has been spotted. Springle ship is going to take down the archer ship, and the archer ship is going to take down the demo ship. Baltune now losing on water as well. Doesn't get a single fishing ship down there. Demo ship also getting taken down now. Baltune, is he going for an age up? That's taking down the boar in the mid-map.
I believe it will be an age-up attempt coming on through here.
These two knights just trying to get ready to raid the woodline. Baltune, great timing on having one knight back there. Now LucifroN just pumping out knights non-stop. And yeah, Royal Institute seems like a reasonable play at this point in time. You're very all in this situation. You really got to commit to it now.
Yep, trying to bank up some of that gold, trying to bank up some of the resources to be able to get these techs immediately on in and have this castle timing potentially pay off. Knight does soak up the charge, outpost trying to fire down on the other side with some help from JD.
LucifroN did invest a lot into water. All of the stables are blessed right now by JD. So a lot of resources saved there from the production.
Yeah, LucifroN obviously will have that knight number going for himself, but Baltune, he will have that tech timing, and these knights, once they're actually castle age, are so scary, so hard to deal with, able to immediately queue up royal bloodlines too, so in a minute and a half, those knights are gonna basically be unstoppable. Oh, Knight's so close to being found out, but just still haven't been. Oh, there we are. Spotted on out.
Jun did gather up enough resources to get both the upgrades in that he really needs right now. Veterancy as well as Royal Bloodlines. Butchers, as you mentioned, also getting spotted out alongside those knights, but to be fair, those knights are soon going to be very weak compared to the knights that Baltune has, but there's just so many of them. LucifroN, he's going ham on the production. Baltune, nothing in queue right now. He needs more food.
Yeah, those deer that he moved out to, so crucial for him. He needs that food, needs to be able to continue that night production. But Royal Bloodlines is finishing up. Will 11 knights be able to fight 20 on the other side?
They don't quite have double the health, but he's actually going... Is he going for the base? There's a single couple of knights right now coming out from LucifroN towards the other side. He's gonna get spotted out by the dock, though. Yeah, that's gonna be dangerous.
Here comes that dive. Here comes the attempt. There are all the knights. Baltune spots him out. Immediately tucks tail, turns on around for a second.
I mean, there's a scary amount of health on them, but still, it's... You need more than double the health here if you really want to take this fight with these numbers. You need to be incredibly cautious now. He killed 3 villagers, though, on the deer. Okay. That's a start.
There is that one knight still circling around his base, though.
And he's about to find some villager kills as well. Return rate coming in from LucifroN. Villagers need to evacuate here. But as a follow-up knight on his side as well. Two follow-up
knights. Might lose a villager, but will be able to get back and do some potential return damage here. So many knights from LucifroN, though, but it just feels like now Baltune has kind of stabilized, has a healthy queue himself.
Yeah, and he's keeping LucifroN from the deer right now. So LucifroN, he's getting a lot of wood in, but he can't scale on the fishing side, not as quickly. Oh, this fight might be forcing a little bit. JD wants to be kept alive. All units make their way through. Healing comes in.
Utilized. This is actually a pretty good fight for Baltune with the heal, but JD's about to fall.
One knight's coming in. Able to take down a lot of the knights from LucifroN here, actually. The knights from LucifroN, they're falling. This is a bad fight for LucifroN.
Knight number is dead even now all of a sudden. And LucifroN's still miles away from Castle Age, even with all the water that he has.
Baltune has enough to buy JD back even as well, behind all of this. Could go for the buyback. Oh, needs to be careful though with these fights. Chivalry in on both sides, so knights are gonna heal up both ways. Actually, does LucifroN have chivalry? Didn't see the healing earlier. I think he does. Yeah, he does. Both players have it. That's a lot of weak knights that could get healed up again, so Baltune definitely incentivized to keep the aggression going here. He's got a lot of knights ready for it. Better stats on them as well. There's a ton of outposts with emplacements here for LucifroN. He's gathering up a lot of stone as well behind this.
So
Oh my
many
god,
kills
is
on stone.
Baltune
He
doing
can't-
this?
I mean, LucifroN's about to be able to go Castle H. He just traded out a lot of the gold that he had, all the stone that he was gathering. He doesn't have another place to gather gold from, even if he does go Castle, though. So we'll have to continue to utilize that market for the
Oh, he spots
effectiveness.
it. I think the outpost might be seeing the age up from Baltune. Does he? He does. He knows.
Does.
And now he's
sees
gonna
it.
go
just
for
gonna
it.
Go for the full dive.
Couple of villagers splitting
Splits
off
off
onto
this-
the... Oh, God. And the villagers here as well. He's cutting them off.
The upgrade's on its way through, but so much damage will be done. Will the water eco be enough to make up for
Baltune is
villager
doing
loss?
it. This is crazy. Without any fishing economy, Baltune just killed 20 villagers from LucifroN. A ton of
many
outpost
are
emplacements.
so crucial right now. The knight upgrade is on its way, but he's down 10 knights now. It doesn't even matter if you get the knight upgrade. Your knights are still going to be weaker without the royal bloodlines upgrade.
There's no pierce armor, and yet Baltune actually losing a couple of knights, a good amount of knights there to the outpost, but that's going to be coming in, remedied now, and JD has just come back as well. LucifroN, he's sending all the knights over to Baltune's base. There's enough reinforcements. Baltune, he's got royal bloodlines. LucifroN does not. It's getting close to the level up
JD
with
snipes
JD as
one
well.
down too. Such a
Once
good
JD levels
fight.
up. The horsemen, the raiders, Jean d'Arc's raiders, they're also going to be having the additional health from bloodlines in as well.
Another snipe attempt. Knights circling around. This might just be a great charge on it. Two more knights.
No, only
just
one. Maybe another one.
Oh,
there, he gets
two.
it now.
There's the second.
Where's JD behind this? Comes forward with the next wave. She gets just one more knight worth of experience. That's going to be the level up secured.
Another knight falls. A few more villagers are going to fall again, too. Baltune looks like he is doing the...
Finds the villagers. JD level up.
JD gets the level.
Could just send the riders after these potential villagers. The outposts should have seen them as well. More healing coming in again.
More knights taken down. Looks like there's some return damage going in onto the gold. Baltune, I mean, this is feeling like the French Mirror again. Villagers running all over the place everywhere. Baltune's now being idled out significantly from some return raids.
Oh man, yeah, I mean, these return rates are great now by LucifroN, but he's on 0 gold per minute. His base is completely out Baltune. He can just take down all the houses, all the outposts as well behind this. Spawns in the riders now. And there's just no way out of this for LucifroN. Sure, he can kill some villagers, but it doesn't matter. The means of reproduction, of the production here, of the unit production have been seized by Baltune, and he's not giving them back.
He has 35 knights with royal bloodlines. This is going to be so difficult for LucifroN to come back, if even possible at all. Another outpost getting burnt. JD just sitting in the wood line now as well, although LucifroN has moved out to the other side of the wall, so is still at least gathering a bit.
Villagers going down now. Woodline has been evacuated by LucifroN, actually moving all the way over to the gold now. And there's still night raids going
Wait, they're
on, but
the berries instead of the boar? What are they doing?
living their best life. Just living their best life.
You could go try to just burn the docks down now at this point with that many knights, too.
Definitely a lot of options for him at this point in the game. 40 to 10-ish knights.
JD, no! JD! Oh! Little cheeky
Little
wall
wall
at the
there. Yeah, just to make sure a villager survive. A lot of them do go down.
Another stable's dropped. Baltune, he's just going for the TC now. He's like, you can't defend this. Good luck. No TC. That at least gives him a chance to come back in the eco count.
He's sending it all! He's sending it all! All the villagers!
What? No! Why? He could have just played it slow. I mean, it's fine, I guess.
He doesn't want to wait. He says, get out of my game. I've won this fair and square. This is my time to shine.
Hey, you don't have to try to protect your eco if it's all with your army.
Fair point. I don't want to keep protecting my villagers. I'm just gonna pull them to the front line. They'll protect themselves. And GG comes in. Oh my god, Baltune! Unbelievable.
What a wild series. What a wild final game, as it felt like LucifroN had it all early. He had water. He took a couple good fights. He was able to resecure some gold for himself, but all of a sudden, Baltune, with the castle timing, just takes a huge fight, and LucifroN was never able to make it back.
Absolutely incredible, even with that insane food difference. Just a pure land play, complete denial on the golds over and over and over again, making sure that LucifroN just cannot match the night count there from Baltune. Oh man, what a game, what a game. Already shaping up to be one of the best games on the road to Red Bull Wololo.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy looking back at that and just realizing that Baltune was going to win, but just shows that, you know, sometimes some of those team game strategies can pay off in solos as well.
Yeah, indeed, and this one definitely worked out. I mean, if there's water, why even go for it? You just gotta deny the gold, and that's your win condition right there. Baltune realizing that, and absolutely well played. GG's all around.
GG's indeed. He did not let us down. Neither of them let us down with this series, as it was an absolute crazy one. I don't think many people would have expected the 3-2 come out from Baltune, but sure enough, that's exactly what we got.
That's right, but I do believe that we do have an interview that should be just about ready. So Dapson, I'm gonna leave it to you to interview our victor of this set.
Sounds good. Baltune, big congrats, exciting series there. You know, we'll just start out with game number 1 with that long 50+ minute Mali versus Byzantines game. What were you kind of thinking? Because I felt like me and Crackety, we were so back and forth throughout the whole game.
As soon as I decided to go into space, instead of trying to fight his army in my base, I think I felt I could actually win it. Before that, when he hit castle and was attacking me, I thought I was completely dead. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of those, like, obviously as a caster, I'm seeing the full map, but I feel like as a player, it's one of those that so much craziness was going on. Y'all are both diving each other's spaces. Did you really, like you just said it, you felt like you could win, but did you feel like you did more eco damage than what you took with losing all of the cows, all the infrastructure and whatnot?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I had a lot of army in his base, and I found villagers. He had a lot of army in my base, but I was not actually losing many villagers. I think he mainly killed villagers on my first wood line when he first pushed.
Yeah, and then leading that one directly into going into, what was it, the Hill and Dale game, where you all end with the timing attack just right as he hit castle. I love the patience for you to wait for the upgrades to come through and not really, you know, go forward with that. But was that always just going to be the game plan on Hill and Dale, was just all in once the castle comes out?
Yeah. I don't think Aibud has many options against it. I think they probably have to play some feudal, but I think it's really hard. So.
Yeah. And then obviously going into game 5, the Spanish brothers, they're known for their water gameplay. They're known for just being dominant on that, and it was basically not quite a mirror matchup, but JD versus French. So tell us a little bit about, like, your mindset going into that final game.
So initially I was like, okay, he's gonna dock, I will try to dock as well. But then I saw, oh, I have deer in my TC, I'm just gonna eat that and play on land. So, yeah. But I thought I would still be in trouble. I thought he would probably try to make like a barracks or something as he was aging up and make a few spearmen. And maybe then he could deny my tower, I'm not sure. But, yeah. I think, yeah, I was pretty scared of him making spearmen at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that felt like the easy reaction point. And then, you know, there were a couple trades here and there. He constantly was just moving back and forth to different golds. So you were causing a ton of idle time, but it just felt like water was going to be too much of a problem to deal with. And then all of a sudden, you're going castle. And is that one where the team game experience came out where you're like, look, I am going to have the better knights. Even if you almost have double the count, I can take this fight?
Yeah, yeah. That fight when he had like maybe, I don't know, 25 knights or something, and I think I had like 12 or something. I thought I would lose there, but somehow the fight went really well actually.
we were all with you there too. It felt like a fight that was doomed for destruction, but somehow came up on top and then able to just keep that night mass going. So big congrats there. Big congrats moving on to the next round. Any final parting words to say to the chat and to the community?
No.
Well, we'll be excited to cheer you on there, and congrats to be able to watch from the sidelines in a good way going forward here for a bit.
Thank you.